Smooth, wonderful, wonderful. Welcome to the show, y'all. Welcome. Hey, let me do this. That's what I need to do. Turn this down just a tad. Let me turn this up because I already know. Welcome to the show, y'all. This is the Guidepost where I give guidance on godhood. I am your host, Bookman. Today I want to talk about not only do I want to talk about the idea of self-knowledge, but I want to go through a significant portion of a video. This video is from a larger series that I suggested multiple times, but I'll suggest free shit constantly, all the time. I have stuff I'll sell, but I'm not gonna direct you to it, not because I don't want you to buy or whatnot, but motherfuckers be like, okay, ain't got no money, what can I do for free? Here, take it, try it out, jump on it. But you got to do the work, bruh. And I know everybody say that, but like, not to say what the work is, because it gets a little choppy from place to place, viewpoint to viewpoint. But regardless of what viewpoint you take, it's gonna take time. And not just you sitting around waiting for it to appear, you're investing time into it. If you want to go out here and learn this stuff, but you don't want to pay nobody to walk you through it, which is completely fine, fair play. You're gonna have to take time. You're gonna have to dig a lot. Like if I'm going to get a house built and I don't want to pay nobody to build it, guess who got to do all that digging? Who got to lay the foundation? Who got to build the frame from scratch? You. So why do you pay somebody to build the house for you? So you don't have to do all that. Don't mean you don't have to do nothing. When it comes to this shit, and I'm teaching or whatnot, yo, this is a journey you got to get on. This is a journey you got to get on, man. And motherfuckers think they on the journey because they didn't listen to a few people. It don't work that way. I wish it would for you. I really do wish it would work that way for you. But I can tell you from personal experience, it don't work that way. So yeah, that's what I want to get into today. I want to walk through a significant portion of this video and kind of touch on things, grapple with a few things. I really do suggest you watch the whole series, but I suggest motherfuckers watch the whole series on all kind of shit that's free for you to go do. Listen, it's free because you don't got to give away no money, your most precious thing, but it's not going to be free in terms of your time, the amount of effort you have to put in, the degree to which you're going to have to contend with shit on your own. We're going to get into it today. Tierra, Team Blocko, good to see y'all in the chat, man. Welcome to the show. Dawson, as usual, bro, what's going on? Good to see you in the show. Welcome to the show. Let's get into it today, man. Let's get into it. Niggas impressed with themselves. It's alright. It's necessary. I tried. I'm still scared though. Nobody else do this. Motherfucker gonna look at me, hey man, this shit awesome, bro. This shit awesome. I know it's awesome. That's why I did it. Fuck you mean? Whatever. I'm being a dick. I'm being a dick. Y'all been cooking in the vacation week. Hell yeah, it's been vacation week over in the guild. Yeah, I can pull the thing up. Uh, yeah, it's been vacation week in the guild. For those of you who don't know, the guild is a continuous cohort class. Link is gonna be in the description, but you know you're not gonna click. Clicking a link is too much. Whatever the fuck. It's a 3-month course. Over the course of 3 months, each month there's 3 consecutive weeks. A block of 3 consecutive weeks each month, and throughout those weeks we do sessions. Between those 3 consecutive blocks, give you a nice little vacation. So we've been on a vacation. What it is right here. It's the summer season of the guild. All right, we just finished up this first block, and so we just went through this nice little vacation spot right here, and we about to jump back into sessions. So yeah, man, vacation been cooking. Oh, this is what I'm gonna say. I am bringing the shitstorm back. I know I say it. I don't just do shit though. I don't just do shit. That's probably part of my problem. I don't just do shit. So I gotta figure out exactly when and how I want to do it. Motherfuckers want the answers for free and quick, and don't want to have to question whether or not they understand, bro. That shit kills me. But it's alright though. It's necessary. It's necessary. Don't be a dick. I'm gonna be a dick. Yeah, man. Vacation week been hitting, bro. So some folks been talking about some of the stuff from the Timeless Knowledge Store. You gotta take the whole tour. You gotta take the journey. Like you go to a museum and they doing a tour and you bump out halfway through the tour feeling good. Like, yeah, I know what they talking about, but stop. I know niggas will do it though. I had to get on them Timeless Knowledge videos. Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah, you gotta get on the Timeless Knowledge tour. I be telling folk, man. They don't want to listen to me. They want to do that thing. You know that thing motherfuckers suggest for you to do? Take what you need and leave the rest. Ooh, that sounds good, don't it? But how the fuck you know what you need? Nah, don't nobody question that. Because everybody want to, feel like they already know. Oh, of course I know what I need. I know Jesus ain't real. Shut up. Anyway, I'm being a dick, as usual. The Timeless Knowledge Store is, it's right here behind it's right here behind the goddamn video thing. There you go. The Timeless Knowledge Store. I highly suggest this for all males. Females, you can watch it too, but keep in mind it's not made for females, and it's gonna hit your emotional strings, regardless of who you are, to be honest. But because females are emotional creatures, it's gonna hit it in ways you're not gonna like. But lucky for all of us, it's not made for you to like. It's made for you to learn. Some people don't learn unless they like. Fucking kindergarten shit. I'm sorry, but it's true. It's true. Some people don't learn unless they like. Check the tour out, bro. Check a lot of this shit out. Don't just wait for the new video. Motherfuckers love to do the I've been there, I done seen that, I get it all that. I get all that now. No, you don't. Alright, so this is what we're going to watch today. Okay? This is what we're going to go through today. It's a clip from a series called Awakening from the Meaning Crisis. It's put together and presented by a gentleman named John Vervaeke. John Vervaeke is not only a cognitive scientist, he's not only a cognitive scientist, but he's done enough research into things like metaphysics for me to feel warranted enough to suggest him to you on a consistent basis. He's not a metaphysician. I'm a metaphysician. He's not a metaphysician. He's not making a metaphysical claim. God, I talk too fast for them. I know, but then no one's going to say you talk too fast. But I don't really think I talk too fast. I think I talk very slow. Anyway, stop. I know. Anyways, he's not making a metaphysical claim. But the reason I'm going to bring him up is because most of you who are in the spiritual communities, in the occult communities watching the spooky videos, you're not making a metaphysical claim either. You're not looking for metaphysics. I can tell. I listen to you. I listen to you. I don't just hear a thing you say, oh, I get everything, amen. No, I would listen. I dig. Anyway, sorry, I'm not going to talk about me. You're not looking for metaphysics. Most of you are looking for meaning in life. How to be a more whole person. How to take these different spiritual teachings and make it part of your everyday life. That's not metaphysics. It's not. Motherfuckers will say metaphysics. Motherfuckers don't know what the fuck they talking about. They just fucking talking. When you're looking for meaning in your life, that's not a metaphysical claim. Looking for meaning of life, that's a metaphysical claim. That's where I'll point you to Bernardo Kastrup, of many people. All right, I want to just talk about this because I want to talk about metaphysics, but this is more the speed of what you guys are looking for. Once again, it's fucking free, because you love that. It's not real unless it's free, right? Right? It's not real unless it's free. Give it to me for free. Okay, here, take it for free. But do you understand it? Is that what y'all motherfuckers need help with? Understanding. But let me guess, that's supposed to be free. I'm supposed to teach you how to understand for free. Because your mom and dad didn't do it. Your teachers didn't do it. You didn't do it. But I'm supposed to do it. Okay, no, I get it. No, I get how that work. That makes sense. You're right. Nailed it. Great job. Anyways. The name of the series is Awakening from the Meaning Crisis, okay? Meaning in life. All right, meaning in life. How do I make this part of my day-to-day life? How do I have transformations of what I am and how I relate to the world in my day-to-day life? These are the things people are looking for. These are the things people are looking for. There's plenty of avenues to get it, okay? But I want to talk about this one. I want to walk through. There we go. I want to walk through some of this one today. Once again, I highly recommend you look at the whole series. You look at all of the videos. But, what do I know, right? It's just look at them areas. I'm going to take what I need and leave the rest areas. I know. I get it. Whatever. I'm the dick in the room. I know. One more thing before I get into this. The thing that's between you, starting point, and where you want to get to, the thing that's in between, that's making the difference, isn't something out there. It's all within. Yeah, but okay, what does that mean though? Like within what? You can just say within, but I can just, that's like me telling you, well, just pray. Right? That's not a satisfying answer, but motherfuckers will be satisfied with the go within because it sounds spooky. It sounds like I can just do that because you're looking for how do I do this? What do I do? Somebody tell me what to do without making me feel like you tell me what to do. Which playlist is this? This isn't a playlist on my channel. Here, I'll show you. Because it's not that difficult. I'll show you how to look it up. The Meaning Crisis. You can type in The Meaning Crisis, and it'll pop right up. Right at the top, it'll be the first thing. The name of the series is Awakening from the Meaning Crisis. Here's his playlist. It has all 51 of the episodes. This is his channel, John Vervaeke. You can click the channel. He's got a whole bunch of different other videos. But to get to what we're talking about specifically, you hit the playlist. And you can scroll down. And here's the picture right here. Look at the picture. All right, there you go. You click that, and it'll open it up for you, right? Um. So yeah, it's simple. It's simple. No problem. No problem. Um. Okay, you can put that down. Um. So yeah, this is from the fourth episode. Once again, it's not the whole episode. It may feel like it. You know, it's not the whole episode. There's so much here. There's so much here. Mm, they're yelling. I know. I'm sorry. I get it. No, we're presenting though. We're presenting. All right. So let's dive into this a little bit, okay? Um, because you know, when I was watching this, I don't like to do the reaction videos. I've watched this. What I'm about to show you multiple times, so you're not going to see me, you know, like most people like to do. Um, And usually I would clip this up, you know, make it smaller chunks, you know, because you got to mush the baby food. But there's so much here that's relevant that I think to clip it up would be a disservice to what it is we're looking at. I don't want to do a disservice to you in that respect, but I also don't want to do a disservice to you to the degree to which I understand you're going to have trouble understanding. You're going to have trouble understanding that you don't understand. And you're going to have trouble contending with the fact that you don't understand, And you're going to get emotional about it. And so there's three levels of bullshit I have to walk through. So this is why I'm going to walk you through some of this. Because people will very readily say knowledge of self, self-knowledge, truth, okay? And they'll tell you to do the research. They haven't done any of the research, and just watching the video isn't doing the research, okay? This is why I want to walk you through some of this, okay? So come on, let's take my hand. Take my hand. We're going to walk through this, okay? Don't be embarrassed. Don't be embarrassed. Take my hand. We're going to walk through this. Let's have a good time. Let's relax, kick back, open up, be ready to question your own understanding of things. Let's do this.
So if we're honest, and we found out from some sacred authority that we are very wise, most of us would be very self-congratulatory. It's like, yeah, I knew it. And how do I know that? Because one of the most persistent biases have is that people believe they're above average intelligence. And of course, most people must be wrong about that because most people have, well, average intelligence. But if you ask anybody, is your intelligence average? They will tell you, no, I have above average intelligence. More so, of course, even for ideas such as wisdom. But Socrates isn't self-congratulatory. He doesn't say, yep, I knew it all along, there's the confirmation I so want. Now that's really telling in of itself, because to quote a friend of mine, Leo Ferraro, we are entering the age of confirmation porn, in which people are continuously seeking confirmation from their beliefs. And part of what's going on to the meaning crisis and the ever expansion of bullshit in our society is precisely because we have technologically enhanced through social media our capacity for gratifying our bias for confirmation.
Stop. I gotta prime you, right? I gotta prime you. First and foremost, he's talking about you. He's talking about you. There's ways he's talking about me. Shit. This is why I measure twice, cut once. Measure twice, cut once. There are a lot people who will look and they'll watch and they'll watch. Oh, boo, this was confirmation. Yeah, I know that feels good. I know it feels good. I'm not telling you you're not allowed to feel good. What I'm telling you, that's not a metric to determine whether or not you're on course. Your confirmation isn't a metric to determine whether or not you're on course. I had a client I worked with for a consecutive amount of weeks. He's up there one of my favorite clients, to be completely honest. But he would do this awful thing. he would he would go on YouTube and look for the people who do those readings, those group readings, and he would watch a bunch of them. And when he found one that hit something, he would get the confirmation feeling and like, they're talking to me. They're talking. See, y'all can do it. When I say I'm talking to you, I know you can do it. But you want it to be affirming. And that's not a metric as to whether or not I'm talking about you. Yo, Aries, I got a CPL videos to catch up on. CPL. General Ruger, good to see you in the chat. I got a CPL videos to catch up on. I'm not really sure what that means, to be completely honest. I'm not cool enough. But yeah, catch up on some videos, bro. Look, they're there. They're there. That's why I do it. That's why I do it, so you can take your time, you know? Instead of listening to the new Jizzy Jeff album, pop on one of the playlists, you know? Take the time. Ask a question. Holler at somebody. Like, do whatever. Anyways. Yeah, bro, I appreciate it. Jump on it, man. You know where to find me. Confirmation bias. Confirmation bias. A little bit of a precursor to what he was talking about at the beginning of this video. He's talking about, I got a couple videos to catch up on. Okay, cool. Whatever it is you think a couple is, double or triple that, bro. Just go ahead, like out the gate, double or triple that, because it's more than that. Not because I'm being mean, but because it's inevitable. It's like going through 100 porn pages. Whoa, what's like going through the confirmation bias? Oh yeah, it's confirmation porn. Yeah, you clicking through this video, you clicking through that video, just oh yeah, fuck yeah. Oh, this is the next one. Oh yeah, ooh. It's confirmation porn. Like that's why I hate posting on Instagram for business now, because it's like the only things you can post only thing that you can post that's going to get traction are things that people can use to validate how they already feel. And unless somebody can take the thing you posted and use it to validate and pose and perform, they're going to ignore it. And it's cool. You know, I'm not saying it shouldn't be that way, but it is. You know, it is what it is. So we're in the age of validation porn, okay? You know, you want to watch out for that. We're in the age of bullshit. Anybody can say shit. And as long as a motherfucker says it with a bit of confidence, because you're using how you feel about it and you're not analyzing it, you'll eat that shit up. Especially if it confirms what you already wanted to believe. This is what I mean when I say challenge your understanding and shit. If you come to a conclusion, go and find as much stuff as you can to destroy what you wanted to believe. Why do I say do that? It helps you get ahead of your own natural tendency to want to confirm your biases. I find something that confirms what I want to believe. Now I need to go find as much as I can to try and destroy what I wanted to believe. It's not wrong to believe. I'm not saying it's wrong to believe. What I'm saying is you have to get ahead of your own tendency to want to confirm your biases. So a little bit of what he was talking about before this part of the video started. Socrates, some of his friends go to one of the oracles, having some fun, and they ask the oracle, who's the wisest of them all? Magic mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all? It's one of those kind of things, right? And the oracle says, Socrates is the wisest man of all. And then the friends, oh God, what the fuck? I know this nigga. They go back to Socrates and they tell him that. And like he said at the very beginning, and I'll rewind it because we were here at the beginning. Most people, if you told them they're the wisest person ever, they're going to pat themselves on the back. Look, I'm not talking about the rest of them. I'm talking about you. If some spiritual authority came to you and said, you're the wisest of them all, you're the chosen, I can see it in you. Stop it. Stop it. I know you would. I'm being mean. I'm trying not to be mean. I'm trying to continue to present and teach. And that's what most people will do. They'll be self-congratulatory because it's something they already want to believe. It confirms their bias. I know, bro. General Ruger says, I know, bro. People may not like how you come about shit, but it's about what they like. I know, and they don't want to have to admit that what they're saying is about what they want it to be and not what's in front of them. It hurts, man. Hence how you feel. Exactly, Seymour. It's all feelings. Facts don't change people's opinion because people don't work off of facts. They work off of how they feel, and they try and find facts to confirm and validate it and support it. That was shit motherfuckers was mad at Christians for doing, but then you go out here and you do it too. So you have to be looking at how you come to the conclusion you come to, thinking about your thinking. It's not what you think. It's not finding the new what to think. It's examining how you think. Metaphysics is philosophy. Don't say you're talking to me, but I use it in a doubt loop. What's a doubt loop? What you mean? General Ruger says, you can say anything if you can say it well. Exactly. That's called rhetoric. How do I know? I'm good with rhetoric. I can convince you of some stuff. That's why, motherfucker listen to me and they can tell, oh, he's trying to persuade me, and I'm gonna run away. And it's like, I'm not trying to persuade you. I could, I fucking could, but I'm not. Fuck. Not Jizzle Jeff. Yeah, Jeff. I messed that up there. Yeah, Jizzy Jeff. I don't know who the new rappers are. I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm not cool, guys. I ain't gonna lie. I would be good to the ego here, and motherfuckers eat that shit up. Wait, I'd be good to the ego here. I don't know what that means. I'm not cool, guys. I'm sorry. And motherfuckers eat that shit up. But it's bullshit, though. And that's what I'm trying. I want to prepare y'all for bullshit. I want to prepare because I can't make other people stop bullshitting. The amount of time it takes to create bullshit versus the amount of time it takes to clean it up is exponentially different. Like if I shit on the floor right now, 5 seconds. But the amount of time it's going to take me to clean that up thoroughly, for real, but stop's not even going to be close to 5 seconds. So I can't stop people from bullshitting. All I can do is set you up to find it. And the first way you got to do is check your own propensity to eat bullshit. It's so serious, bro. I'm gonna start from the beginning, guys. All right, please listen, take it in.
So if we're honest, and we found out from some sacred authority that we are very wise, most of us would be very self-congratulatory. It's like, yeah, I knew it. And how do I know that? Because one of the most persistent biases have is that people believe they're above average intelligence. And of course, most people must be wrong about that because most people have, well, average intelligence. But if you ask anybody, is your intelligence average? They will tell you, no, I have above average intelligence. More so, of course, even for ideas such as wisdom. But Socrates isn't self-congratulatory. He doesn't say, yep, I knew it all along, there's the confirmation I so want. Now that's really telling in of itself, because to quote a friend of mine, Leo Ferraro, we are entering the age of confirmation porn, in which people are continuously seeking confirmation from their beliefs. And part of what's going on to the meaning crisis and the ever expansion of bullshit in our society is precisely because we have technologically enhanced through social media our capacity for gratifying our bias for confirmation. We'll talk about this later, but we all carry a terrific bias called the confirmation bias, in which we seek information that confirms our beliefs and we tend to avoid information that challenges it. And part of what is going wrong right now in our culture is that through a lot of factors that are endemic to the meaning crisis, we are accelerating and exacerbating our propensity for falling into the confirmation bias. And I think that's what my friend Leo means by confirmation porn. We have a kind of pornography. If we take pornography to mean the gratuitous and unmorally justified satisfaction of a desire, then we are living in an age of confirmation porn. Socrates is a corrective to that. Here is a great temptation. He has presented the word of the God that he is wise, wiser than anyone else, and rather than accepting it and giving in to that confirmation bias, his immediate response is to challenge it. Now, the challenge is tricky for Socrates. Socrates is no atheist, although he's going to be charged with atheism when he's put on trial. But he does believe in the gods. He's going to do something very important about the gods. He's going to transform the Greek gods into moral exemplars. And what that means for Socrates is the gods can't lie. The gods can't lie. For Socrates, and this is one of the ways he's going to transform the understanding of the gods, and Plato along with him, the Greek gods, as they are represented in standard Greek myths, aren't very accurate portrayals because those gods lie and they cheat and they betray. Zeus cheats on his wife, etc. But for Socrates, and this is part of the axial revolution, the gods represent moral exemplars. They represent ways in which we can self-transcend and morally improve. So for Socrates,
ways in which we can self-transcend and morally improve. Ways in which we can self-transcend and morally improve. This is what folks is looking for. It's not because I'm not trying to convince you of that. Listen. Ways you can self-transcend and morally improve. How do I control my emotions? How do I control my intrusive thoughts? Self-transcend and morally improve. That's what motherfuckers is looking for. You're not gonna get it in a spooky book. You're not. You're not, bruh. Dawson says, I listen to a million things trying to figure out shit, and it will keep me in constant doubt loops on what is so-called truth. Gotcha. That's what you mean by doubt loop. And this is part of the reason why we're talking philosophy. Remember, metaphysics is philosophy. It's thinking about your thinking. Motherfuckers will say truth all day. Like, before you can find truth, you gotta figure out what the fuck truth is. Truth, what is true, are different things. Truth and what is true are different things. Red, what is red? Red and what is red are two different things. Look, here's some paint that's red. Here's a tape thing that's red. Here's one of those red cups, a party cup, right? Those are things that are red. None of all those things that are colored red. None of them are red. Truth, what is true? Different things. Different things. And the only way you're going to find how truth works, truth is based on the underlying cosmological narrative. It's based on the underlying cosmology. It's part of the reason the Bookman model goes straight to a metaphysics, a cosmology, right underneath. That's part of the reason I don't like cognitive science, because I think it's very presumptive on what the cosmology or what the cosmological model is, what the underlying metaphysics of reality is. So I know it's because it's easy, you see it in the title of somebody's video, The Truth Exposed. Here's the truth about this. It changes everything. No, I'm above that. It don't work on me. Stop lying. Right, Seymour, if we're honest. Honesty is the key here. When I talk shadow work, a big crucial part of it is honesty. Learning to be honest with yourself. Learning how to recognize your own bullshitting so you can see through it. You can get above it. You self-transcend above bullshitting yourself. You have to be dedicated to being honest with yourself. So much so that you risk everything you've believed. You have to be dedicated to being honest with yourself, so much so that you risk everything you've believed, everything you want to believe. It is serious, bro. Dunning-Kruger effect. Yeah, Dawson. Actually, it's either Dunning or Kruger, but one of them has been doing a lot of lectures about that concept, because it was called the Dunning-Kruger effect. Like the people who came up with it, they didn't name it. Like they didn't classify it as such. But people who watched them talk about it named it the Dunning-Kruger effect. And people think they're smarter than they are, but because that's what anyone would want to think. When posed with the question of are you average? For some reason, people don't like the idea of being average. They like to feel like they're a little bit above the curve. Like, watch Kevin Samuels. You ask a woman, okay, 1 to 10, and you can't use 7. Well, I'm basically a 9 or a 10, I mean, I get most people are average, but when it comes to me, I'm a bit above average. That's what everyone wants to believe. So I show you Brandon, so you stop trying to be above everybody. Get down here in the mud. Get down here in the mud. Be dumb and don't be ashamed of it sometimes. Like, it's okay. Like, because you won't get better by pretending to be better. What's the fake it till you make it shit? Anyways, let's continue, guys. Let's continue. Oh, this is what I was going to say. The meaning crisis. He's talking about a crisis of meaning that people today have in the Western world. Okay, like the other day, bro. And just poor baby. One of my wife's friends came over to visit, and I'm walking through the living room, about to go get a cigarette, and she drops a bunch of change on the ground, right? And, as she's picking it up, she asks my wife, just drop all this change. What does this mean? And I'm thinking to myself, bitch, you need a coin purse. Like, what you mean? What does it mean that you dropped change? Like, motherfuckers don't understand what meaning is, what meaning means. And when we have a lack of it, the effect it has. You have a dream about an owl. What does it mean? You see the 777 numbers, right? Angel numbers. I'm not a Christian. Angel numbers. I'm not a Christian, Arius. Angel numbers. Whatever, right? But I'm a dick. People don't know how to formulate meaning, and it's causing a crisis. They'll look around the world and they'll say, nothing has any meaning. That's how you feel. That's the nihilism. Nothing has any meaning. And it's causing a crisis in how people connect themselves to the world. And somebody was living in ancient Egypt and they had a dream about Ra. They had a dream about a falcon, right? The meaning, based on their cosmology, is going to take them to Ra immediately. Look, y'all motherfuckers with the Christian cosmology, and I'm not saying you're bad, I'm not saying it's wrong, but when you have that Christian cosmology, and then let's say you have a dream about a winged person in white robes and light, what you gonna do? That's an angel, right? It comes directly from your metaphysics. Thank you, bro. It's not fucking wrong to be wrong. Yeah, man. It's your right to be wrong. It's your right to be wrong. But you got to be honest with yourself about your own capacity to be right. Motherfuckers is quick to try and get there, and it's not it. It's not it. Is it because there's no proverbial measuring stick? There's no measuring stick outside of metaphysics. That's why it's called metaphysics. Your metaphysics is the measuring stick. And most people aren't examining their metaphysics, or they're just presuming that they understand it because they can repeat sciencey words. They can say melanin, electromagnetic. They can say dark energy. And without understanding what any of those things are, can say, well, these are my metaphysics. Be in the world, but not of it. And this is that's pointing to the self-knowledge. That's pointing to how your metaphysics are composed. And that's why I don't shun niggas for having a Christian cosmology. That's what the narrative of Jesus is depicting. The act of being in the world, but not of it. When you play Super Mario, you're in his world. To the degree to which you're controlling that avatar in the game, you're in that world. But the degree to which you identify with the avatar is whether or not you're of that world. And it goes right back to the underlying metaphysics you're using. I think metaphysics is spooky words, bro. It hurts. It hurts. Let's continue. Let's take this walk.
It's therefore axiomatic that the gods can't lie to him. So the gods are telling the truth. This wedding, and this is something we're going to come back to, the way the Greeks wed divinity I should say, to reality, that truth and sacredness are bound up together, is going to be really pivotal. Think about how much we separate those two in our culture. But for Socrates, they are interpenetrating. So the gods can't lie. They have to be disclosers of the truth. But on the other hand, Socrates has significant and profound self-knowledge. One of the things I have tattooed on my back is "Know thyself." It was inscribed at the Delphic Oracle, but Socrates makes it his personal slogan for life. There's been some recent things written about this, and I think they've largely reflected a misunderstanding of what know thyself means. Know thyself doesn't mean become aware of your biography. I mean, we all are prey to that, and we have a culture that exacerbates that narcissism. We like to stroke the ego of our personal autobiography and store up treasured moments that we can point to other people that indicate our uniqueness and our specialness and why the universe should specially take care of and pay attention to us. That's not what know thyself means. It doesn't mean that kind of stroking of your autobiographical ego. Know thyself is much more a kind of direct participatory knowing. It means understanding how you operate. If I were to use a literary analogy, it's not like your autobiography, it's more like your owner's manual. It's how do you operate? What are the principles? What are the powers, perils? What are the constraints that are operating within you? Socrates, as we'll see, thought that that kind of self-knowledge was central. And this
Know thyself. You'll hear people say it all day and then start talking about melanin. And start talking about, how they stole this from the black man, and it's all really yours. And you got to tap into your own demon because they was trying to hide it from you, and they was trying to distract you, and they are trying to keep you down, and they don't want you to know. This isn't about finding how you're special and unique. Look, real shit, any and everything is unique. But that don't make it special. Everyone's fingerprint is unique. But you're not special because you have a fingerprint. And because it's not like other people's fingerprint. That's common. That's typical. Self-knowledge isn't about learning the history of your physical body, its lineage. If people only knew my story. This is why the universe loves me. No. It's not what this is about. Jenna Ruger. Marshall, good to see you in the chat, man. Welcome to the show. Jenna Ruger. Aries, you remember the short live you made on Instagram and time saying how you're not doing this to make friends? Shit, I see why you were saying that shit. People out here crazy. Well, yeah, a lot of people are in this to make friends. And I'm not gonna, like, a lot of people want the group of like-minded people so they can have new friends. They can have people they feel close to. And I'm not saying that's wrong. I'm not telling you you're not allowed to do it, but that's a completely different work from understanding. That's a completely different work from understanding. And that's part of the reason I have the guild. So you can find this group of people who are like-minded and be working together. It's a cohort, a continuous cohort class. And so you're all doing the same thing. You're all doing the same thing at the same time. You get to see each other's work. It's not just you're all in a pen together and now you're all like-minded people because you came into the same pen. Like, no, get to work. Get to work. Do something together. Thank you for making that live. It made me think a lot. I'm grateful for you either way. Look, if you're really grateful, get in here and do the work, bro. Get in here, ask the questions, become the thing. Take the journey that this shit is. Initiation used to take years, most of a motherfucker's life to do. It wasn't this thing where you can listen to a few people talk and then boom, you get it. Now I'm ready to go teach and give tips. Nah, man, it's not. But I'm not saying that to shame people who think that. But what I'm saying is people are honest with themselves that that's their motivation. And so that dishonesty gets in their way. Like literally gets in their way. Okay, I want to see what's beyond this, but here's my dishonesty. It's literally in my way. And until I address my own dishonesty, I can't see clearly. I can't be more literal or clear about it. So that's part of what the shadow work thing is. It never stops. That's why I don't like to suggest shadow work integration, because it gives this idea of some type of finality to the process, and it isn't the case. Like people who wear glasses, you're going to clean your glasses forever. I don't care what sheet, what little rag you buy. I don't care what method you use to wear your glasses. You're going to spend your whole life cleaning those glasses and putting them back on. And it's not because something's wrong with the glasses, the world, or you. That is what it is. That's just nature. That's reality. That's shadow work. It's cleaning the dishonesty that we routinely place in our way, that we identify with, that we build this narrative of ourselves with and become invested in. That's part of what the shadow work is going to do. See, the shadow work ain't even the ascension process. The two most certainly are wedded together. They go hand in hand. Hand in hand. I had to do the hands, right? Hand in hand, but they're not the same thing. Two things that are similar are not the same. Remember, metaphysics is philosophy, and philosophy is thinking about your thinking. Reminds me of what Bobby said. You got to go through that shit to get the shit. Yeah, the only way through is through. There's no fake it till you make it. I hate it. I hate that. I hate that. People just end up faking make it. You got my little brother laughing about the glasses. It's true. Like the glasses, oh, your little brother's, oh man. Oh, do I have to cuss less? I'm sorry. Nah, no, for real shit. Like shit. Shadow work is like wiping your ass. No matter how clean you got it yesterday, no matter how good you are, what you got the wet wipes, you got the extra soft TP, you gonna have to do it again. And it's not simply because maybe you did it wrong yesterday, even though you can do it wrong yesterday. But you got to get in the habit of being able to do it effectively. Because if you don't wipe your ass effectively in the morning, it's going to fuck with you the whole day. You got to learn to do it every day. It becomes a way of life. When he's talking about Socrates, know thyself. It's not some semantic knowledge that he has to go get, and now once I've got it, I know myself. No. It's a way of being. It's a way of being. It's a way of life, my day-to-day life, right? It's a way of being that you have to dedicate yourself to. You have to dedicate yourself to being honest with yourself. And it's not simple. Well, ask a 2-year-old motherfucker who's just getting through potty training if it's easy to learn to wipe your ass. See how well they do it when they first start. They're awful at it. Someone has to come and help them. And it's not because they're broken. That's what motherfuckers need when they start. Some assistance on wiping their ass. God damn it. I'm trying not to be mean. Reality checks of the mind. It's your own. You have to have your own contingencies or your own pattern for learning to wipe your ass. Learning to clean your glasses. Hell yeah. It's a way of being.
Is the core of the axial revolution. The axial revolution is this critical awareness and sense of responsibility of one's own cognition. So, on one hand, the gods can't lie when they say Socrates is the wisest human being. But on the other hand, Socrates has deep self-knowledge. He has Socratic self-knowledge in which he is convinced that he is not wise. And he is not willing to give up on either one of those. And that's a telling thing about him. That tells you something very central about him. He holds these two together. His existential self-knowledge and this disclosure from reality are going, neither one of them is going to be given a greater authority. They're going to be held together. So now Socrates faces a personal dilemma, a dilemma that goes to the core of who and what he is. How can it be that he is the wisest human being when he knows that he is not wise? So this is a very deep dilemma that he sets for himself. It's a kind of profound problem that he seeks to solve. And what that means is that Socrates starts on a quest. He starts on a quest of trying to determine how both of those things could be the case at the same time. Now the quest seems to have evolved very naturally into a way in which he interacted with those around him. What Socrates would do is he would go to people who claimed or would credited with being wise, and he would ask them questions. He invented, in fact, what has become known as the Socratic method, also known as elenchus. The Socratic method is a way of asking questions in order to try and draw somebody out. We'll talk a little bit more about elenchus in a minute, but first I want to talk about the two types of people that we have good reason to believe Socrates was interacting and what that can tell us about the Socratic notion of wisdom. And we're going to see how this Socratic notion of wisdom, knowledge, and this idea of self-knowledge is deeply bound up with how meaningful your life is. So, the two groups of people that were accredited as being wise were the philosophers and the sophists. If you remember last time we talked about Pythagoras, Pythagoras actually invents the word philosophy. It comes from two Greek words, philia, Sophia. This means, right, the friendship love of wisdom. So, and Pythagoras creates a community around him. You create a community, distributed cognition, in which you interact with other people in order to try and pursue wisdom. A philosopher is someone who, in concert with others, is a lover of wisdom. So Socrates is interacting with the philosophers, and in particular, one group of philosophers that come before him. In fact, Socrates is regarded as creating a revolution in philosophy precisely from how he differed from the natural philosophers. And he's also doing the Socratic method with the sophists. And you can see that this also comes from Sophia, wisdom. It's where we get our word sophisticated from.
For those who may or may not know, or have even heard me and didn't take it in, I consistently like to make a distinction between philosophers and sophists. Okay, philia, sophia, like in the word pedophilia, right? The love of children. Okay, philosophia, the love of wisdom. Okay, this is the Western world. You're speaking English. A lot of it has its roots in the Latin. All the Romance languages have their roots in Latin, which has its roots in the Greek stuff. Okay, and it's not to say whether or not that's good or bad. 'Cause people like to do the whole the original language is the true language. Like, okay, chill out, bro. Like, you gonna jump to the original language and don't even know your own language. All right, sorry, I'm being a dick. I like to make the distinction, and the distinction has been made throughout history between philosophers and the sophists. Okay, now the sophist has the word wisdom in the name. All right, so yeah, okay, cool, wonderful, congratulations, you have it on your chest. The sophists are not lovers of wisdom. Sophists are not, they're bullshit artists. But unabashedly, unashamedly, they are bullshit artists. If they can give you something that will convince you, that is the measure of truth for the sophist. That's why they'll specialize in things like rhetoric. They'll learn to say nothing well. That is what the sophists will do. And that's what most people are out here who are talking spirituality and claiming it's metaphysics. They're sophists. They're attempting to convince you of their point. They're giving you something salient. Bullshit. They're portraying themselves as wise, portraying themselves as humble, and it's cap. It really is. But there's plenty of room to argue about it. As a matter of fact, the idea has been argued for a long time. Okay. I tend to the side of the philosophers. The philosophers are seeking wisdom and truth. The sophist believes there is no truth. It's only true if I can convince you of it. And that's what truth is for the sophist. For the philosopher, it's a continuous journey to unveil and get closer and closer to it. All right? So keep those things in mind, guys. Dawson said dingleberries. Hell yeah, but get in there and clean that shit. Clean that shit. Don't clean your shit and then look at somebody else and tell, okay, look at that, man, you dirty, man. Okay, of course it's dirty. It's an asshole. And they didn't clean it well. Of course they didn't clean it well. It ain't about making sure they clean it well. You clean yours. And if you need to be in a group of motherfuckers who are consistently cleaning. Consistently cleaning. Like, you don't want to hang out with somebody who don't wipe their ass? But that's what motherfuckers will do. They'll be in a group of people, all just full of dingleberries. Check, fire, facts, we building, we tapping in, and nobody's saying anything. Nobody's challenging anything. All those people who say they're above debating, they're sophists. All those people, because to be a philosopher, you're going to have to go back and forth. You're going to have to do it in some type of a community. You know, all that being above debating shit, bro, it's rhetoric. It's cap. So any nigga who's above any type of debate back and forth, it's cap. If they're in a group of people and nobody's challenging anything, it's cap. It's cap, man. Ethan True, good to see you in the chat. Welcome to the show. All right, let's keep going.
The sophists are also people who claim to be wise. Now, the natural philosophers are very interesting. The natural philosophers seem to represent a fundamental change in human cognition. So I'm going to take as an example one of the natural philosophers who is considered to be the first example of it, Thales. Now, because these guys are just as we're coming out of the Dark Age, and they predate Socrates sometimes by a couple hundred years, right, or thereabouts, a lot of what we have from them is very fragmentary. We don't have very much. In fact, you can put most of Thales' philosophy into 3 lines, into 3 sentences. I once taught this to a course of mine, and one of my students went out and made a t-shirt in which they put all of Thales' philosophy on one t-shirt, because that's how fragmentary it is. Let's talk about these 3 fragments because they reveal something very important. One is all is the moist. The next is the lodestone has suke, and this is important because this word suke, which we now pronounce psyche, is going to be the basis of the idea of psychology as a discipline. And finally, everything is filled with gods, which sounds...
These are metaphysical presuppositions. These are metaphysical presuppositions. And look, you'll hear people say the word psyche, right? Where does it come from? What does it mean? If you don't challenge whether or not you even understand the word, you'll just skip right over it. You'll start to... We building. We tapping in. Check, fire, facts. Of course I get it. As a matter of fact, now I'm with the people to get it. Come on. Who knows what a lodestone is what they used to call magnets. Like natural magnets. Black Sun, good to see you in the chat, man. This is the first live I caught. What's up, peeps? Good to see you, man. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Oh, hey, they be recorded, man. So even if you don't get in here live, go back and check the shit. It's all free. Anyway, everything is filled with gods. That's kind of a panpsychist idea, but nonetheless, these are metaphysical presuppositions. Okay, everyone has metaphysical presuppositions. Everyone. Okay, these are real old ones. These are ones that go back before Socrates. Okay, so kind of listen to how he's going to talk about how the natural philosophers, Thales specifically, who he's talking about, how they came to the conclusions they came to, and what these things mean. Not so that you can take it yourself and, I've taken what they said, and because it's ancient, now I'm correct. No, you don't need to know what you think. All right, you're examining this to examine how you think. You want to know how they came to these ideas, what it means for them, so that you can take that information and then examine your own lens, examine your own conclusions, cognition, examine your own thinking about your thinking. It's not what you think, it's how you think that makes the difference.
Sounds very pre-axial, almost shamanic. Now, what you have to pay attention to here is not what Thales is saying, but what he says reveals about the kind of thinking he is creating. What does he mean by this? All is the moist. Of course, there's controversy about all of this because it's fragmentary, it's old, but given how other people in the ancient world, like Aristotle, followed up on this, a plausible interpretation is everything is made out of water. Everything is made out of water. Now that's false. Everything isn't made out of water. It's not just scientifically false, it's kind of metaphysically false. Everything can't be made out of water, or we wouldn't be able to identify water on its own. But put that aside. Think about this. What surrounds ancient Greece? Water. If you dig into the ground, what will you hit? Water. What falls from the sky? Water. What does everything need in order to live? Water. What can take the shape of any container you put it in? Water. See, what I'm trying to get you to see is, although Thales' idea is false, it's highly rational. It's highly plausible. What he's doing is using his reason and his observation to come up with a plausible explanation of what the underlying substance is behind everything. By the way, pay attention to this word. This means stands under, another metaphor. Right? It's related to lots of other words where we use standing to talk about understanding, for example. Okay, so notice what he's doing here. He's not doing mythology. He's not generating a narrative about some divine agent. He's not saying this has happened because Zeus cheated on Hera and then Hera sought. There is no story here. There's no mythological narrative. There's no, right, divine agents involved. That's not how he's trying to explain or understand. Instead, he's doing a rational analysis based on observation, and he's trying to get at the underlying stuff that everything is made out of. Do you see what I'm showing you? What Thales is inventing, is there any other word for this? He's inventing how to think scientifically. How this happens is obscure.
Thinking scientifically. Thinking scientifically. Because a lot of people would like to think they think scientifically because it feels good to see yourself as a scientific thinker. Because in our culture today, the thinking of scientists is held in very high esteem. Now, I'm not telling you what it should or shouldn't be. I'm pointing out what it is. But notice, like he's saying, notice, I keep saying that word. I'm going to keep saying it. It has something to do with ascension. Anyways, there's no narrative involved in the claims that he's making. Why is that significant? Okay, beautiful. This is how scientific thinking works in general. It's not made to tell you what you're supposed to do. It's not made to tell you how to act in your day-to-day life. So you hear something like, everything is the moist. Okay, wonderful, Arius, I get all that. Now, how do I use it in my day-to-day life? You can't. It's fundamental map. This isn't telling you what to do with your day-to-day life. For that, you need a narrative, which is why the cosmologies are presented in a narrative form, so that they can aid people in fitting themselves into a day-to-day life. When I say, what is you? When I say, what is you? How do you have a you? What is a you? It's part of a narrative. It's part of a narrative. So when he says everything is the moist, there's no narrative. So it's not about a you. This is how scientific thinking works. And I'm not saying which one is better, what's right, what's wrong, because we're going to get some more into how this works. Exactly. In terms of scientific thinking, Dawson, in terms of something like everything is the moist, there is no you in any of it. It's not something you use for a day-to-day life. Melanin, cells, electromagnetic spectrum, dark energy, 0 point energy. None of those things have anything to do with a you. They're not about day-to-day life. They're not about you. Self-knowledge. They're not about you. It's not about self-knowledge. So telling people to activate their DNA, melanin, chakra, centrifugal kundalini force, has nothing to do with day-to-day life. It has nothing to do with self-knowledge. These are metaphysical claims. They form the basis for beginning to create some type of a narrative, if you make a narrative at all. If you make a narrative at all. Melanin, DNA, cell biology, molecules, quantum quark strings. None of those things have a narrative. They're not about you. It's part of the reason you have a narrative. It connects all those pieces. Let's continue, because I'll fucking go the fuck off. I want you to hear some of this, to put some of it in place, to see the pieces. It's not just me saying what the fuck I'm saying.
But that's what's happening. He's inventing The kind of thinking that we now, and I'm going to say it again, take it for granted, as if it's natural. But he's inventing it. What does this mean? The lodestone has suke. So lodestone is a natural form of magnet. What's interesting about magnets is that they can move themselves and they can move other things around them. The original meaning of this is, of course, breath or wind, but what it ultimately refers to and came to refer to is, right, anything that's living in the sense that it's self-moving, that it can move itself and that can therefore cause other things to move. So I can move myself and therefore I can make other things move. The magnet can move itself and it can make other things move. I'm aware of suke within me. I see the magnet doing something similar, and therefore I conclude the magnet and I both share suke. He's wrong, but that doesn't matter. This is a plausible, rational argument. Here he's trying to get at what we would now call the underlying force behind things. Now please remember that, by the way, that suke originally means your capacity for being able to move yourself and make other things move. And you may ask, well, why does that become the word for mind, psychology, mind, suke? Because the mind is that part of you which you can most move. It is the most self-moving part of you, and it's where all of your capacity to move other things starts. If I'm going to move this marker, my mind first moves itself, and that drives me to move the marker.
I have to stop here for a moment. This is very crucial, because once again, people who just say words, okay, what do we mean when we're saying psyche, soul, mind? What are we talking about? The capacity for self-movement. This is the part of you that moves you. This is why it bothers me when people just refer to it as the brain, and it's not. That's not what's being referred to in these ideas. Everything is the moist. Dawson, get out the gutter. Get out the gutter and get back into class. Get out the gutter and get back into class. Because with moist, because there's a whole, like if you read different occult texts, there's a whole spectrum of other things that go along with moist, like dry, light, dark. Excuse me. There's a whole system of things. That's why I usually point to what system are you invoking with the words that you're using, because the pieces aren't separate from the system. The context. They interplay with each other. That's why people just say ego and don't have any idea of the system that comes from. Usually what they mean is pride. And I'm always going to say that because I'm the fucking ego. I got the fucking name in my mouth. Whatever. Stop. Psyche. Okay? This is part of the reason I use the word the way I do. This is where the word mind is coming from. This is what is meant by mind, and most people will reduce it to a piece of fucking meat in your skull. It's worm food. You can have a worm in there right now. It's not what the fuck mind is. Ugh. Okay, let me keep going. I'm sorry. You're alright, Dawson. I'm being a dick.
But that way of even thinking about me so that I can start a science of the psyche starts with Thales. And what's this? Everything is filled with... This seems so scientific, John, and then you're throwing this at me. The gods. Isn't that a throwback to mythology? I don't think so. I don't think so. See, look what he's doing here. Now, I need to introduce a term. I promise to try and keep the technicalities to a minimum, but we need a term here, right? So ontology is the study of being, the structure of reality. Ontological analysis is when you use reasoning to try and get at the underlying structure of reality by getting at the underlying stuff and the underlying forces that are at work in it. So Thales is introducing the ontological analysis that drives the scientific revolution. What are scientists doing? They're trying to get at the underlying stuff. They're still trying to do it right now. They're trying to get at the underlying forces. They're trying to see into the depths of reality. They're engaging in ontological depth perception. This doesn't mean, right, physical, like this doesn't mean our normal perception into spatial depth. What I mean here is seeing with the mind into the depths of reality, ontological depth perception. Now, once you get that he's discovering this way, he's inventing this way of looking at the world that's gonna bleed into right here, right now. Think about how powerful that way must be. Think of the power in that vision. He gets an access to the depths of reality. And what is he saying? That provokes awe. That provokes wonder. That gives him a sense of connecting to what is most real. It helps him to make the most sense of things. And that's what it is to experience something as sacred.
It's crucial. He wants to get a sense of what is most real. This is why people even come to spirituality and metaphysics, because that's what they're looking for. The sense of what is most real. It's an ontological pursuit. See, bro, don't nobody else talk to you about this fucking shit. Where my shit at? Don't nobody talk to you about this fucking shit. They give you spooky and sciencey words and pat you on the back. Fuck out of here. Where's my shit at? Here we go. It's an ontological pursuit. What is most real? Why are you looking for what is most real? Because you want to be connected to it. You want to be in line with it, in harmony with what is most real. What is most real? The existential essentials. This is part of the Bookman model. Let me make sure I can see my screen. Excuse me. Yeah, there we go. This is what I start you with. Right? I'm not telling you melanin DNA. I'm not telling you to sun gaze and eat your spirulina. It's not metaphysics. What is most real? What the fuck does real mean? When we say something is real, it's an ontological claim. We're pointing to the ontology of the cosmology. What is most real? And there's no definitive answer. There isn't. There isn't. Fuck. Fuck. Calm flames. What are we in? A cube of darkness? That's a question about what is most real. All right? What is most real? What are the fundamentals of reality? For example, because the question you're asking, Calm Flames, good to see you in the chat. Welcome to the show. The question you're asking is pointing to your own ontology in whatever cosmology you're using. For example, in a Christian cosmology, you ask the question, what are we in? Okay? Well, what's the most real in a Christian cosmology? Heaven, hell, earth. There's nothing outside of those containers, of those stages, of those fundamentals. To the degree to which anything exists is real from a Christian cosmology, it is within heaven, hell, or earth. Ontology. What is reality at large? So you don't need Sanskrit words. You don't need to know the names of the chakras for this. You don't even know what the fuck chakras are. Sorry, excuse me. In this case, our ontological perception is threefold in its most simplest form. Yes, when it comes to the Bookman model, I put it into a threefold form. For the most part, that's what all of these maps have done. fundamentally is threefold. But the reason I start with threefold, one, because if it's only one fold, you can't really explain anything with it. Okay, you can use that as a starting point, which I do, which I talk about in Trinity, but you can't leave it there. Okay, you have to go beyond one fold because otherwise there's nothing to talk about. Twofold, you can't do twofold because what will happen is the two pieces will be so diametrically opposed. There's no way in which they interact. In the Western world, Descartes, the creator, with air quotes, the creator of the idea of skepticism is where this comes from. He was skeptical of everything he could be until he found the most fundamental thing he could not be skeptical of. I think, therefore I am. It's just called cogito ergo sum. I think that's how they say it in Latin. Sorry, I'm scratching my ear. So anyway, and most people who use that dual framework still have the same problem. It's called the mind-body problem, the objective-subjective problem. Okay, if these two things, if we're going to divide the world into a dual framework, how do they ever interact? Okay, and this is part. He died without being able to reconcile the framework, and people are still sitting here fucking walking in circles. This is why you need at least a third element. Why? Because when you find the manner or the mechanism by which those two interact, it's a whole other thing in and of itself. And so you need at least three. Now you can take this shit to 5, 7, 12, 21. Well, 4, 5, that's the elements. Okay? 7, that's the chakras. 10, that's the tree of life. 11, that's the Kalipoff. 12, that's the zodiac. 21, that's the tarot. But all of these are fundamentals. None of those tell you about you. And that's not bad. It's necessarily the case. So when I give you guys the Bookman model, I stop it at 3. Because you can understand 3, we can talk about anything else. I don't need to give you 32 paths. And then now that you get the names of the 32 paths, you get it. No, it's not how it works at all. Dawson said, would a one-fold pattern be all is moist, like all is chair, all is the all? Exactly. All things are one thing. That's a one-fold pattern. And like I said, it's an excellent starting point. Here, let me, I'll pull this up real quick. Because I go through this shit and I keep it available for y'all. Well, actually, the only people in the guild have this particular PDF, to be quite fair. But I have videos where I talk about this shit and I show the same shit. Where is it? Here, let's put this one up real quick. One-fold geometry. Look, when you hear from the Kabbalion, okay, when they say all is mine, the all is mine. The, as in singular, the all is mine, okay? All things are one thing. All is moist. All is energy. All is love. All is light. All is chair. It doesn't matter what the word is at the end necessarily. The claim that's being made is all things are one thing. That's a one-fold pattern. Okay? And you can move forward from that. That's what the Trinity is. It's the cornerstone of metaphysics. It's not some inspirational thing to help get you through your day at Kroger. All right, let's continue. All right, because these things are essential. Because look, if you want to understand how to take this different information and apply it to your day-to-day life, you have to understand the components that make up a day-to-day life. And this is part of what ontology is talking about. The components that make up a day-to-day life. Like, for example, if you wanted to, okay, Aries, how do I, on a Monopoly board, right, in the game of Monopoly, how do I buy Park Place and then put hotels on it so that every time somebody lands on my property, they have to pay me money? Okay, that's a fair question. For the game of Monopoly, that's a fair question. But in order to understand it, in order to answer that question, you have to have a thorough understanding of the game board and the pieces that work on there. You have to understand how all those things and the continuity between them. Because if you don't understand the fundamentals and their continuity, you're not going to be able to answer that question. And the same goes for a cosmology. See, it's easy to just say Christianity's not real. Okay, cool, fair play. You can do that move, but now what is real? You can't skip over it. And you can't just presume anything. Because whatever you put there is going to affect everything else. So it's so necessary, and people gloss over the shit. So how does a metaphysician approach the underlying? How does a metaphysician? Well, the metaphysician is only really about the underlying. It's a scientific way of thinking. Like, once again, John Vervaeke is not making metaphysical claims. This is why I point you guys to Bernardo Castro. There we go. Bernardo Castro is a metaphysician. Bernardo Castro. Boom, pops right up, okay? This guy is a metaphysician. Now, he'll talk to people about, some of the meaning in life things, which people are really interested in. But he's making metaphysical claims, okay? So the metaphysical claim isn't necessarily about the you. It's about the components that go into framing such a thing, okay? That's more of what we're talking about when we're talking about metaphysics. A good question, though. I have been learning more about the Trinity, dealing with Shiva, Vishnu, and Brahma, but there's something I'm not getting. Well, that's a form of a Trinity. Okay, see, you said the Trinity is in a singular. That's a Trinity. Here, let me show you the Trinity. As a matter of fact, let me show you where to go so you can see everything I've talked about it with. Because not only do I have videos where I talk about it ad nauseum, here, link in the description, takes you right to the details. Boom, the Trinity. The Trinity is the cornerstone of metaphysics. It's a dynamic. It's a dynamic. Okay, it's not so much the individual pieces themselves. It is the dynamic between them that makes all the difference. Okay, so I go through the dynamic that makes up the Trinity. Okay, and every cosmology is going to start with one, because it's the cornerstone. What is a cornerstone? When you're building a building, let's say you're building the pyramid, right? The first block you lay is right there at the corner. It's a cornerstone. The Trinity is the cornerstone of any metaphysics. That's the basic fundamental dynamic from which everything else unfolds. If you can understand the dynamic that's present in the Trinity, you can recreate anything else. You can explain anything else. You can understand any other cosmology. So it's a dynamic. And what's interesting about the dynamic of Shiva, Vishnu, and Brahma, it's not simply a singular Trinity. Like in Christianity, you have the Holy Trinity, which is a very singular Trinity. But in Santana Dharma, in the Hinduism pantheon, that Trinity isn't singular. It's nested. There's the word I want. It's nested within other Trinities, which is how the unfolding process works. So it's natural for that to be that way, but it's a little more complicated, and that's not bad. I think it paints a better picture when you allow for complexity. But sometimes complexity is a little too much for people to chew, and they need you to make it obvious and as plain as possible, which is what I try and do. See more. Oh, Al Dickey, good to see you in the chat, man. Welcome to the show. Okay, now it makes sense why ontology and epistemology is a branch of metaphysics. Yeah, ontology, epistemology, and cosmology. See, most of the people who will say metaphysics don't talk about that. They give you chakra names and tell you to stare at the sun and activate your anus, and it's fucking bullshit. But it's okay. It's okay. The devil's in the details. Let's continue, guys.
So this is powerful stuff. Now Socrates seems to have been influenced by a particular one of these natural philosophers called Anaxagoras, who was in Athens just before Socrates. Anaxagoras declared that the sun wasn't a god, for example, that it was a hot rock, and he got into a lot of trouble for things like this. Socrates seems to have enjoyed, more than enjoyed, he seems to have been impressed by the natural philosopher's commitment to getting at the truth. But ultimately, Socrates, he rejects this. Not because he rejects reason, rational analysis, he's going to engage in that himself multiple times, or argumentation. His whole Socratic method, as we'll see, is all about argumentation. What does he reject about the natural philosophers? They don't help him with his axial project. See, the problem with the natural philosophers is they give you truth without transformation. They give you facts, they give you knowledge, but they do not indicate how you become wise. They do not indicate how you overcome self-deception. They do not indicate, as Socrates would say, how to become a good person. Now, it's interesting how much people say that even now, even today, sometimes in clear ways that are helpful, sometimes in confused and mixed up ways which are unhelpful. But the idea that our scientific worldview, while giving us all kinds of knowledge, does not in any way train us for wisdom, does not tell us how to become wise, does not tell us how to transcend ourselves and become better people. This is a common complaint, and we'll come back to it.
If you're annoyed with me stopping the video because you want to hear the whole thing, do what the fuck I said and go watch the series. I'm walking through it. We're taking our time, okay? For real. And I have to stop here because this is a crucial point, okay? The natural philosophers give you truth, facts, without transformation. The scientific thinking gives you facts, information, without transformation. The transformation being a how. How do I do this? How do I do that? How do I make this? How do I do this? Which is what people will ask. Like fucking clockwork. And here's the reason, guys. And it's very simple because I talk about this a lot. These diagrams that you're used to, the chakras, the zodiac, the tree of life, the tarot, the elements, these are scientific ways of thinking. They're facts, they're fundamental maps, okay? They're not methodological. How to do something is methodology. That's what people are looking for. But the big thing about that is the only way you're going to understand a methodology is if you understand the underlying fundamentals. The only way you're going to understand a methodology is if you understand the underlying fundamentals. Where am I at? Where do I want to go so I can show you this? Okay, because remember, like I'm saying, these are fundamental maps. They're not methodological maps. These are fundamental maps. The chakras, the tree of life, the zodiac, the elements, the tarot. These are fundamental maps. Even what I have here is a fundamental map. It doesn't tell you how to do something. Let's look at an example of what the difference is. So, because I want to nail this into you. I want to fucking nail this into you. Here, because today people are spoiled for choice. Okay, they think the way that we think is just natural. You take it for granted. Okay, you think this is how people have always thought. That's not the case. All right, the map at the top. The map at the top is a fundamental map. Okay? It only possesses ontology and epistemology. There's no methodology on the top map. Okay? Let me zoom in a little bit. Maybe it'll make a difference here. Let's see. Boom. Okay. So the top map is a fundamental map. Okay? It only tells you ontology and epistemology. What's the ontology here? The ontology is the square and the greenness. All right? It says park map. That's the fundamental underlying reality of what you're looking at. Okay? That's the ontology. Next, it gives you the epistemology. What's the epistemology? Everything you see there in the key. All the little points of information. All right? That's the epistemology and the ontology. It's the fundamental map. The board has to be set up before you can be a player. Exactly. The board has to be set up before you can be a player. It has to have components to be set up. So, yeah, all those things you have to necessarily have a fundamental understanding of in order to understand methodology. Some people will jump quick to, well, tell me how to do this. But, okay, well, what are the fundamentals you're using? And they don't know. But it's okay. I'm not trying to be mean. Okay? This fundamental map, it doesn't tell you how to do anything. It doesn't tell you about you. There's no you on this map. There's no you. If there's no you, and it doesn't tell you where you're going to go, it can't tell you how to do it. And this is by design. It's not because something's wrong with the map. This is by design. All right? That is a fundamental map. The perfect example I can give to you is you go to the mall. I don't know if the mall still does this. I haven't been to the mall in ages. Anyways, in the mall, they have the same fundamental map of the whole mall in like 6 or 7 different places. What changes on that map? They have the fundamentals. The fundamentals don't change. What changes is they overlay a little sticker on top of the map with an arrow that says, you are here. Thank you, love. That's the beginning of methodology. So let's look at a methodological map, okay? This is like what you're going to find if you open up your Google Maps. What it starts with, I'll put that back. What it starts with, okay, it gives you the fundamentals, the epistemology and ontology. Let's look at it. What's the ontology? The ontology is the basic part. You got the river, you got the green and the beigeish color with the white streets showing you the blocks, how the land is formed. There's your basic ontology. What's your epistemology? What's in context of that? What can be known? Those are all the little red pins. Okay? And look, to be completely honest, with just the ontology and epistemology, there's a wealth of information that you can get. There really is. But in order to say how to do anything, you need this overlay. So the overlay starts with you are here. There's the arrow. Starts you with you are here. Where you're going to go, that's the blue pin. It's not like all the red pins. Any one of those red pins can become a blue pin. All right? But now that it's giving you you are here, this is where you're going, now it can tell you how to get there, how to do it. And based on those 2 points, there's a myriad of hows. All right, I'm going to show you one more thing. Because I keep this up in the guild, in the study materials. You know, nobody looks at what they're supposed to. They come in, they feel good, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I'm the dick in the room because I think you're going to do something other than play. But you want to be in kindergarten. It's fine. It's fine. No, I get it. I'm the dick in the room. Here, look at this. All right? I want you to hear the music. But if I want you to hear the music, I have to shut up. I have to shut up. I'll pause it and speak when I want you to. But I want you to see the fundamentals. I want to see how these things connect. Because it's easy to ask somebody, how do I make this part of my day-to-day life? And skip over the fact that you don't know the fundamentals. Fuck. Sorry. Okay, let me pop this up. And I'll do this. Where is it? Ah, okay. Boom. All right. Because I want you to hear the music. Because I'm weird like that. I like the beat. All right, here. Listen to it. Okay, I'm a dick. But look, you open up your Google Maps, and I'm gonna keep you letting you look at the video. You don't have to look at my face. You open up your Google Maps, right? You don't click anything. You don't even have your tracking on. You just open up the map. What it's immediately gonna give you is the ontology. That's what you're immediately gonna get. If you look at the Bookman model, the image I have here on the right, that's the ontology for the Bookman model. There's the fundamental. That's part of the fundamental map, okay? You open up Google Maps. You can do this on your fucking phone. You open up Google Maps. It's going to give you the ontology right away, okay? The basic underlying structure, excuse me. But let's continue. Boom. Okay. So what happens? And remember, I changed the words on the image on the right because this is going to be the epistemology for the Bookman model. But I mean, all the fucking systems do it. Anyway, to get to the epistemology on the map, you have to look for something. No matter what you look. I put the goodwill in there. I like the goodwill. But what happens? As soon as you hit the epistemology, and I'm gonna keep talking. I'm not. You're gonna hear the beat, but I want you to see as it changes. You can see what's in context of that ontology. All right, and like I said, you can get a wealth of information about this. It's not gonna tell you about you. Okay, I switched. I did Walmart. Boom, you get the same thing. It does the same thing. It shows you the in context within the at large. The at large is the ontology, the in context is the epistemology. And there's so much you can learn with just these things. Look, I click on any one, I can get so much information about any one of the pens. But I still haven't said anything about you or how to do anything. But this is what comes next. Now, boom, what does it do? What does it do? It takes my location, takes where I want to go, and now we in the ball game. On the right, that's the image that I'm showing you the fundamental map and then the methodological map for the Bookman model. You see, look, chakras, tree of life, the zodiac, the tarot, elements, fourfold or fivefold. None of those give you a methodological map. They're not made to do that. They're made for the people who are initiated into systems. And once you're initiated, you know how to make a methodological map from a fundamental map. And so how to do something becomes self-evident. Anyways, this is what happens, okay? Because now we're beyond just the epistemology and ontology. And what happens is a methodology is overlaid on top of the fundamental map. See, if you look on the right, the methodological map is on the bottom. How do you know it's a methodological map? That's a great question. Two answers. One, you see Brandon's lovely face. If it's in the Bookman model and you see Brandon's face, we're talking methodology. But in general, how can you tell? Well, you can see the fundamental map underneath the methodological map. Why? Because the methodology is overlaid on top of the fundamentals. Methodology is overlaid on top of fundamentals. The map at the mall. All the different maps are the same map. They're fundamental maps. But the methodology, the sticker that says you are here, is laid on top. It's an overlay. Even in Google Maps, your methodology is an overlay. Here, watch it change. Watch it change, because it's an overlay. It's not part of the map. You can change the methodology you take. This one's okay. This one's for the car. How you get there in a car, right? Click, switch it, boom. Now I want to go this way. Well, then the methodology changes. The fundamental map don't change. You and the end don't have to change there. What's going to change is how you're approaching the territory. Look, there's the bicycle route. What changes is how you're approaching the territory. Let me pause here again. In the Bookman model, I have what are called the 3 paths of ascension. In the Western tradition that most people are, air quotes, familiar with, they have what is called the right-hand path, the left-hand path, and for those who study it or acknowledge it, there's the middle path. These are 3 angles of approach to the territory. Walking, riding the bike, riding the subway, taking the car. These are angles of approach to the territory. It's not that taking the car is the right way. It's not that walking is the right way. It's not that riding the bike is the right way. What it is that depending on which angle of approach you take, left-hand path, right-hand path, middle path, depending on which angle of approach you take will affect your methodology. That is the distinction between them. And once again, this is where you get into how to do something. But you can't get this far unless you understand the ontology and epistemology, the at large and the in context. See, I'm having a metaphysical discussion. Metaphysics. Fuck, I'm a dick. All right, here, what? Listen to the beat. I'm gonna play the whole thing over. Let you listen to the beat. Take your time. Look at it. Watch it. If you're in the guild, I'm pretty sure you can download this. It's in the study materials. Anyway, here. Check it out. Peep it real quick. These old cosmologies are talking about the territory itself, all of the psyche. One more thing back up here. They're a map of all of reality. Like, how many times motherfucker gotta tell you the tree of life is a map of all of reality? The chakras are the same way. The fact that there's the Homo sapien form on the image of the chakras is not saying the chakras are in the body. You're looking at a map. That is a symbol on a map. It's a symbol for a whole composed of parts. How do you get an initiate to understand a whole composed of parts? Well, they animate one. They walk around in one. They identify with one. Boom. If you look at a map and you see a little triangle, it says mountain. Does that mean there's a little triangle in the territory? There's a difference between the map and the territory. Where is the thing? Did I close it? I did, didn't I? I'm such a dick. I fucking closed it. There's a difference between the map and the territory. Where did I put it? Here we go. Badoom. Don't worry, I'm gonna get back to the video. There's a difference between the map and the territory. Look, there's the map, and there's the territory at the bottom. There's the map, and there's the territory at the bottom. Look at the trees on the map. That's not the same as what you're gonna find down there. Look, there's a similarity. Okay, yeah, you're making an abstract, a simplification, an abstract simplification, so that you can understand it in a certain way, but your experience of the territory is only going to be similar to the map. The chakras, the tree of life, the zodiac, it's a map of all of reality. It's a map of all of reality, okay? So that's why just knowing the names of the chakras, the zodiac pieces, it's not going to tell you how to do anything, because it's not what it's made for. That's not what it's made for. It's helped to show you. It's helped to show you the framing, okay? Because remember, these systems were made for those people at that time. That's why there's no penguins in the Egyptian pantheon. Not because something's wrong with penguins, and not because cats are specifically divine. It's to fit to the people who lived in that time, in that place, in that system. That's why you can't just pick these up and apply them to your day-to-day life, because you don't live that life. It wasn't made for you. This is why I made the Bookman model, for contemporary people. But you have to understand what a model is. It's not about going and get the right answer. That's the school trauma. I'm just scared to get the wrong answer, so you desperately search for the right answer. But you don't know the difference between right and wrong, which is why you keep getting it wrong. Fuck. I'm such a dick. I'm such a dick. I didn't look at the chat. Oh, Serious Son. Welcome to the show. Good to see you, chat. Get y'all model right. Hell yeah, look. And no one else has any models. They just show you old models and tell you this is how you're going to apply it to your day-to-day life. You don't. You don't. Not only are those models not made to do what you're trying to do, but you need a little bit more. Those models were made for those people. In Sanskrit, there's like more than 10 words for spirit. You can't just apply that to the world we live in, to the culture we live in today. Like the Inuit people, they got 28 different words for snow. Because they live that life. It's always snow. So they can see distinctions in it. It's not part of the Western mentality to just pick up Sanskrit. The Theosophical Society tried to do it. That's where you get terms like astral world, etheric body. Oh, yeah, I'm tapping in now. No, you don't even know where it comes from. Fuck. Or why they chose that. Just like the Bookman model may not have work for ancient people. Exactly. Exactly. Yes, you have to have a model that's fit to you. See, what is a you? A you is nested in a narrative. You know, generator, operator, destroyer, past, present, and future. That is a narrative structure. It's the nest in which a you is cultivated, is developed. You have to have those components, an understanding of those components, to understand you in a day-to-day life. You can't just pick up random pieces. So the devil's in the details. And so if you're trying to jump to how to make this part of your day-to-day life, you're going to have to make sure you have some fundamentals in a coherent fashion. And the reason, last thing before I start the video back up, the reason these scientific models aren't going to do it for you is because there's no narrative. Like biology, physics, quantum physics, these are literally made not to have a narrative. It's like how bleach is literally made not to support life. It's not a bug in the system that bleach doesn't support life. That's how it's a feature. It's made like that. These scientific models are made not to have a narrative that you're looking for. That's why motherfuckers will make up ridiculous narratives about aliens and they did this to us and they did that and they did this and they want to hide that. Why? They're telling you a story. They're giving you a narrative. Well, the cosmic war has always been going on and you're fighting in the astral. I gotta fucking show that. I gotta fucking show that. This is my show. Shut up. Get back to the no. I'm gonna get back to what the fuck I want to talk about. I tell niggas to go watch the shit anyways. No, I'm gonna do it when I want to, how I want to. I'll tell niggas to do some shit. They won't get around doing that shit for 1, 2, 3 years. And then come and look at me like I'm surprised when they finally get around to doing it that it had an effect. I knew it had an effect when I told you the first time. Fuck, that's why I told you. Here, look at this shit.
Some of us are actually destroying these deletes. Some of us are actually destroying these deletes plans in the astral realm in the 4th dimension before they can actually take physical materialization in the 3rd dimension. Cosmic family, the Great War is already going on, okay? It's not a situation where the Great War is going to happen. This is something that's been consistently happening, and a lot of you guys are fighting in the astral realms and don't know it. Now, as this Great War heighten, what's going to happen is the geomagnetic storm is going to come into play and it's going to actually awaken your 12-strand genetics. You are going to go through a Kundalini awakening and all your ancient memories are going to come online. This happened, all the memories of your past incarnations will actually come into one avatar. There will be a mass awakening on the planet of all indigenous and connected to the Schumann resonance and frequency of Tiamat. This will usher in the rise of the matriarch. Rise of the matriarch will be known as what's called the Great Cosmic Cleanse. This is why there's been so many talks of dragons lately. All right, dragons are the personification of cosmic balance. Nature is restabilizing itself.
What is he doing? Okay? What is he doing? What he's doing is giving you a narrative. That narrative has components and he's not checking the components. He's mixing and matching whatever he thinks or feels right. The astral world and Tiamat, those are two different, completely different cosmologies. First of all, so he's giving you mixed up components. Second, he's intermixing them in a narrative. This war has always been going on. There's your past. What's going to happen in the future? What's going to happen is there's going to be an awakening of your, and now let's grab some sciencey and spirity words, of your 12-strand DNA. You're going to have a Kundalini awakening. Look, see, you mix sciencey and spirity words, you throw it all in a story. This is what people do. This is what they do. And it's bullshit. It's not because he's a bad person. It's not. I don't know who the fuck this is. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. I don't think there's good and bad people. It's wrong. It's wrong. Like, these old cosmologies, we're not talking about strands of DNA and nerves and back oil, guys. He's mixing and matching. It's word salad. It's word salad with nice pictures, with nice AI pictures. I want to get y'all away from that stuff so we can have actual metaphysical conversations. So we can actually develop schools of thought that have different methodologies with different metaphysical presuppositions. But you're not going to get it mixing and matching like that. You're not. And see, you hear a story like that, you start telling other motherfuckers the story, that you can feel included in that. And that's what motherfuckers are looking for, so they eat that shit up. Eat that shit up. Spooky back oil, bro. That's what niggas is looking for. Pablo, good to see you in the chat. That's what niggas is looking for. Spooky back oil and a good story. Because if you just get the story, you never have to understand the fundamentals. The old cosmologies, they start you with the story. The story is easy to know. You can learn the story from a child. So by the time you start into the initiation, I can pull up the story I know all of you know. And we can start to unpack, unfold all that shit. Start to reveal. Motherfuckers are looking for a story because they don't know what story to line themselves up with, because cells and cranial nerves and back oil don't have a story. That's why you can't incorporate it into your day-to-day life, because there's no you in it without a generator, operator, destroyer, past, present, and future story, a narrative. It's not wrong to want a narrative, but you have to know what it's about, why, how it functions. Right, it could all be so simple, but you have to get out of your way. You have to let go of the things you want to believe. Otherwise, you can't see past them. And you end up just trying to confirm your own biases everywhere, man. It's fucking ridiculous out here. All right, let's continue. We're going to continue the walk. Take my hand. Take my hand. No, don't try and go forward. Take my hand. All right, let's look both ways. There's a car coming. Hold on. See it? Okay. All right, let's look both ways again. All right, come on, let's go. All right, take your time.
About the scientific worldview. Socrates sees it even then. So here you have truth, but no relevance. The truths that are discovered are not existentially relevant. They don't matter. They don't enable the cultivation of wisdom, the transformation and transcendence of the self. Now, Socrates interacting with the sophist, which is famous, is a lot more antagonistic. This, when he talks about his relation here, it's much more the language, or the tone, at least that's how I read it, of disappointment. He was expecting more, and he found less. Here, and it's not clear how much this is Socrates and how much this is Plato who's writing about Socrates, but here the relationship is much more antagonistic. Now, who are the sophists? Well, if you remember, we talked about when the Axial Revolution is coming to Greece, you're getting the emergence of democracy. And in Athens, the democracy is direct democracy. Now, before we get too far into this, we don't want to over-glamorize this. Yes, Athens is the beginning of democracy, but let's remember, if I was a woman, the last place I would want to dwell in the ancient world is ancient Athens. Ancient Athens treats its women horribly, just horribly. Sparta treats its women better than Athens. Democracy is only for Athenian adult males. Women, foreigners, anybody else, even if they're Greek, they're not considered to be worthy of participation in the democratic process. And it's a direct democracy, right? Everybody files into the assembly and votes on everything. Now, what that means is, as I've already mentioned, your capacity for debate and argumentation is a route to power. This is why it develops so powerfully in ancient Athens. The better you are at arguing, the better you are at persuading other people, the more powerful and influential you will be. What happens is a group of people invent a new psychotechnology. They invent rhetoric.
You may have heard him say psychotechnology and be like, what the fuck is a psychotechnology? No, fair question. Because if you watch the whole series, he tells you what it is. But for example, reading is what he would refer to as a psychotechnology. Okay, I can look at the scribbles from thousands of years ago, and through this psychological technology, I can unveil the thoughts and ideas of the ancients. See, we take it for granted, and we even laugh at motherfuckers who don't know how to read, but it's not natural to do. It's not. And so you can't take it for granted. Well, you can take it for granted, but if you take it for granted, you're going to miss it. Okay? So when he's talking about the sophists, they developed in ancient Greek, in Athens, excuse me, because at the time, the way you became more powerful in that community, in that democracy, was being persuasive. All right, was being persuasive. And the more persuasive, the more you could persuade others to be on your side, the more powerful you were. Okay? That's the sophists. And I all have such an issue with the sophists, because that's what motherfuckers are doing today, is sophistry. Because just like the dude we just watched from Instagram, it's sophistry. Because those kind of motherfuckers will say they're above debate. And they gotta be, because the shit they're talking about has no evidence for it. There's no evidence for it. Will like old pictures be a psychotechnology? Hieroglyphics is also a psychotechnology. Okay? Look, rhetoric here is one of them. It's one that's developed, and this is saying nothing well. It's playing on the emotions of the listener. Because to the sophists, there is no truth. There is no truth. And so all I need to do is persuade. And if I can persuade you, that is truth. Now, this was wrong with that shit. Like, the statement, there is no truth. Well, is that true? So meme would be a psychotechnology one today. Yeah, memetics. Memes are psychotechnology. Yes, it's a form of it. There are plenty of psychological technologies we've used, we've created. It's a tool. It's a tool. All right, but we've gotten to the practice of taking it for granted. Now, one last thing before I start this back in. When y'all are asking questions of, okay, how do I do this? How do I do that? How do I make this part of my day-to-day life? What you are asking for is participation. Okay, I got all these pieces: astral, kundalini, cranial nerve, DNA strand, great awakening. I got all these pieces. Now, how do I participate? That's the methodology. That is where the narrative comes in. I keep closing this, but I should probably keep it open. I'm a piece of shit, though. Look, okay. Here, let's put this up here. Because that participatory aspect is what's missing from diagrams of the chakra, of the zodiac, of the tree of life, of the four elements. How to participate is what people are looking for, and what's missing from those old diagrams. And it's supposed to be missing. It's not made to show you that. Anyways, the participatory aspect. How do I make this part of my day-to-day life? How do I participate in it? Look, Christian cosmology, the at-large, heaven, hell, and earth. That's the fundamental reality. The in context, or the epistemology, what exists within context of that? What can be known within context of that? Well, in heaven, you got God and angels. In hell, you got the demon and the devil and demons, excuse me. On earth, you got man and woman. Okay, boom, I got all these pieces. Okay, Arius, I get the pieces. I get all that. I know all this, Arius, assholes. I get all that. Now, how do I participate? Said differently, what does it have to do with me? How do I participate? What does any of that have to do with me? Well, this is where the narrative comes in. The past, present, and future. Because once again, Christian cosmology, right? The past, the fall, the creation of heaven and the fall of Lucifer, the creation of the Garden of Eden and the fall of Adam. the creation of Christ, his crucifixion and resurrection. All of that is written in the past tense. It frames reality for the past, but they also give you the future, Revelations. Jesus and them coming back. He gonna be on the horse. He gonna have the horns. The seals are gonna open up, fire and brimstone, shit's going down. Past and future. What does that do? Past and future. It gives you a now. It gives you a now. A context for a day-to-day life. You have to understand the fundamental components if you're going to have a methodology. And that's once you understand those fundamentals, you can create a methodology from your Christian cosmology. Okay, I got all the fundamentals. I got the past and the present, so I understand the now. I'm going to go preach. Well, I'm just going to go to church because I just want to listen. No, I'm going to knock on that door and give you a watchtower. No, I'm going to join a monastery and beat myself because I'm a sinner and I can never not be a sinner. Well, no, I'm not really going to do anything. I'm just going to wait because fuck God. All of it valid. All of it valid in the context of that cosmology. But see, when you take random pieces from random cosmologies, you're not going to make a methodology. You're going to make a fucking mud pie. You're going to make a fucking mud pie and try and sell it like it's something other than bullshit. Fuck! Ugh. There's still a utility in rhetoric / sophistry, but what we have to watch out for is the propensity to bullshit, yes, because he talks about the coming together of sophists and the natural scientists for Socrates. Mark, good to see you in the chat. Yes, this is why I'm so serious about bullshit. This is why I'm so serious about bullshit. Not because somebody's not supposed to. Look, kids are supposed to make mud pies, okay? But somebody got to tell you whether or not that's a mud pie or that's some cherry. That's apple. That's peach cobbler. Oh, yeah. I'm not going to let you walk in here with that mud pie and you tell me it's peach cobbler. Look, in kindergarten, that's okay. That's okay. Because ain't nobody going to eat that. And the teacher going to stop you from eating it. Maybe not slap it out your hand like I want to do. Like, no, guys, let's leave this outside for recess. We're going to go have snack. Oh, yay, snack time. Woo. You drop your mud pie and run to the next thing that's exciting you and making you feel good. No, slap that out. Put that shit down. That is not a pie. That is wrong. No, everyone's right. That's wrong too. Because if everyone's right, then I'm right too when I tell you you're wrong. See how that shit don't work? Sophistry don't. And he's gonna tell you about this. Sophistry isn't interested in truth. You'll have utility from it because with rhetoric, I can persuade you to get what I want. Saying nothing, well, you can say nothing if you can say it well. To play on your emotions, to persuade you. If I can become good with rhetoric, I can develop rapport just from saying things. I gotta play it. That horse sound kills me every time. I gotta do it, bro. Look, it gives you the ambiance and the atmosphere. Oh shit, I gotta play it. Cause look, I'm so serious. I can't be more serious, bro. I really can't. I really can't be more serious.
And if everybody agreeing on the same thing, somebody wrong. You see? Check? Check. All right then. They play on your emotion. Saying nothing well and playing on your emotion. Tell a person what they want to hear and say nothing well. You can say nothing if you can say it well. They play on your emotion. And that's the problem with our people. They have been teaching you what you wanted to hear and not what you really needed to hear because they didn't know what you really needed to hear. That's called the art of public speaking. They play on your emotion. So that's getting your emotion up to a certain level and you thinking that's spiritual, that's emotionalism. They play on your emotion. And they'd come up and they would come into some stuff and they would be talking all this good stuff and people, yeah. But everybody's ignorant. You see what I'm saying? They play on your emotion. And if everybody agreeing on the same thing, somebody wrong. You see? Check? Yeah. All right then.
I'll say it, bro. I'll tell it to you. I'll let you know. Bro, all this everybody right shit is cap. It's rhetoric. It plays on your emotions. It's telling you what you wanted to hear. What you wanted to hear is that you're close. You getting it. We building. You tapping in. Family, you chosen. Oh yeah, it's you. Oh yeah, black sheep. You wasn't wrong. You was always really right. And they just didn't understand. But you understand. We understand. Walk in here with us. Check. Fire. Facts. 100. Ooh, it feel good. It's playing on your emotions and it ain't spiritual. And it's not their fault for feeding you bullshit. It's your fault for eating it. And then gonna go feed it to somebody else. You know how they get the roaches with the little roach hotel? Because the roach will get the nasty poison food and go feed it to the rest of the colony. Oh, I didn't gotta find the colony. I just put down a little roach hotel. A little pile of bullshit, right? Roach come, ooh, look at, I gotta tell my homies about this. I gotta teach. I gotta give out secret tips. Poison the whole colony. Out here check, fire, and facts. What's cap? That's what the fuck it is. The art of public speaking. Manifest that million, brother, tap in. Man, look, suffer, y'all. Have an awful life. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the fucking show. Let's continue.
They invent ways of picking up on how language and cognition interact. They find standardized skills that can be practiced and developed so that you can influence people. Increase the chance that your language will change their mind. Now, the sophists were only concerned with teaching the skills. They basically separated the technology from any kind of moral commitment. So, for example, a particular sophist might go in the morning to this aristocrat and help him argue for why Athens should increase the number of ships in its navy, and in the afternoon go to this aristocrat and help him craft an argument as to why Athens should decrease the number of ships in the navy. The sophists didn't care which was the case. What mattered was empowering the individual to win the argument. Now, how does this work, and how can we relate it to our lives now? So, basically, a good way to think about this is the sophists pick up on the fact that when we are communicating, we're going to talk about this a lot later as we go on, we are being driven by what we find salient and relevant, not just what we find true or believe to be the case. Remember with the 9-dot problem, what stands out to us, what's relevant, shapes how we see things and how we understand them. So, let me give you a modern analog for how rhetoric works, a place where rhetoric is readily apparent. Advertising. Okay? See, the point about advertisement is to make use of the way your brain will associate things, the way your brain finds certain things salient, make things seem highly relevant to you in order to manipulate your behavior. Now, what's telling about this, and this is the point about the sophist, is how much that can happen, right, in a way that is disconnected from whether or not it's true. I mean, you watch the beer commercial, and here it is. Here's really attractive people, and they all get together, and they're all having a great time, and it's this beer, and here's the beautiful, attractive people. Go into an actual bar. That's not like that. Okay, and you're not going to see the kind of broken down lives, drunk people. Now, here's the thing. You know that that's not true. You know that, if you went into a bar and you actually saw something like that happening, if when you washed your hair with shampoo, you were suddenly in the shampoo commercial, you'd worry about your sanity. You know it's not true. It doesn't matter. It makes certain stimuli salient to you. And so you buy the beer, you buy the shampoo. This is what I mean when I say your beliefs aren't the only thing driving you. So this brings us to a notion I promised to come back to, and I want to use it technically. I'm not trying to be vulgar, but this is important. This is the notion of bullshit. And the classic work is by Harry Frankfurt on this, his essay on bullshit. It's 20 years old now. Because Frankfurt is very interested in talking about the difference between somebody being a bullshit artist and somebody being a liar. Because they aren't the same. They can overlap. A person can be both a liar and a bullshit artist. But let's talk about pure cases. How does the liar work? The liar depends on your commitment to the truth. The liar tells you something. I'll use P to represent some proposition. The liar says P to you, even though not P is the case, because if he can convince you that P is the case, you will change your behavior, because your behavior is, to some degree, significant degree, influenced by your commitment to the truth. If you believe P is true, that will change your behavior. That's how lying works. Lying depends on the fact that in general, people are committed to the truth, because in general, people want to be in touch with reality. That's not how bullshit works. See, bullshit, unlike lying, works by making you disinterested, unconcerned with whether or not what is being said is true. When somebody's bullshitting you, they're trying to get you to not find important or, central how true the claim is. Instead, they're working in terms of the rhetoric. They're trying to capture you in terms of how catchy it is, like the advertiser. How salient it is, how much it grabs your attention. So, there was a famous example from this, from The Simpsons, and The Simpsons has been on for 1,000 years now, and I think it's still on. So this is from a long time ago. And at the time, it seemed so almost absurdly ridiculous funny, but it's turned out to be extremely, extremely prescient. Because the example is a political example. There are two aliens running for political office. And they're giving a speech to Americans. Right? And I mean no insult to Americans, but I think we're aware of how what I'm going to say is relevant to American politics right now. And the speech goes something like this. One of the aliens named Kang says, "My fellow Americans, when I was young, I dreamt of being a baseball. But now we must move forward, not backwards, upwards, twirling towards freedom." And everybody cheers. Now it's meaningless. It doesn't mean anything. But he invokes youth, baseball, moving forward, moving upward, twirling, and freedom. And so if you're an American, you get this rush. You get this rush. That rush is, these are all salient things. They're highly relevant to you. You associate and identify with them. And so you're swept up, you're caught up in it.
Here's an example of this from the spiritual community, okay? And you'll hear this, just like I showed you the dude from Instagram right there, okay? Because look, y'all are out here. You're trying to find a new way to understand things. You don't know what to trust, what makes sense. So you got all this different information, all these fragmented pieces, and you really deeply want to find the truth here. You want to find how to connect all of these random pieces. You're not sure. So you're looking, you're listening, you're trying to find somebody who's talking about what you're looking for, right? Oh God, and here it comes. And you see somebody, right? And they sound really good. Look, watch me. Family, I know that we've been lied to. They tried to hide things from us, and even your family don't want to know. See, when you look at the ancient texts, you begin to understand that the 12 cranial nerves in your brain that are connected to the back of your 33rd vertebrae in your spine raise the kundalini through the melanin and the magnetosphere to unleash Tiamat into the reality and awaken the world. You're part of that. We all know you're part of that. They showed you in the zodiac with the astrological signs. See, if you know your astrological sign, then you can sign the sign and see the signs. It's salient bullshit. It's salient bullshit. It's salient bullshit. Serious I said, I need your course. Look, as much as I love taking money, I'll be completely honest. You don't. What you need is dedication to the fact that you bullshit yourself. You need dedication to honesty. Now look, the course, and more especially the cohort of people, because that's the most valuable thing, bro. I say all this shit on the videos a lot for free, but don't nobody ask questions, don't nobody contend with their own understanding, and so I kind of have to force you and the other people around you to do it in the course. But look, take my money. But look, I would love to take your money. I'm so serious. But I'm not gonna lie to you and tell you you need me, because then you're gonna get caught up trying to follow me, and dude, I'm a fart. I'm gonna fart. I'm gonna fart often. I'm gonna fart. I'm gonna burp. I may not put on no deodorant, but I'm be ooh. You don't need me, but I will help you. You don't need me, but I will help you. Not only will I help you, I'll put you in a group of other people who also want the same help. Because motherfuckers love to do this whole unique, tragic story of yourself. Shut the fuck up. I'm so different. If you knew my story, you'd understand what I mean, Aries. You don't get it. I'm trying to tell you, I'm broken in this particular way that no one else is. And I'm not going to fit into the group. I'm so sorry. Shut the fuck up. Listen to, because as soon, look, I'm so serious. Motherfuckers will get in there, and as soon as they start listening to a few people talk, hey, that sounds like me. I'm like that. Yeah, I know, dumbass. It's not, I could make so much money just selling you rhetoric and bullshit, convincing you need me and what I tell you. I make bank. I can have a Joel Osteen church. I can have a Joel Osteen church. Look, yeah, you want to take my money? Thank you, Castus. You want me to take your money? Go to cultcornerstore.com and buy something there, please. Well, I got a whole store. I have so many avenues. If you want to contribute, you want to give some money, holla at your boy. That's what we do. You know, I'm not waiting your table. I'm not taking tips. I got here. I'm not a stripper. I'm not a stripper. We got a business here. Shit, go to the store. Our website look better than everybody else's. The products are better. Our line of rap is better. Fuck. Well, you just owed that shit. I'm gonna get so mad. No, I'm saying it is when you was giving your analogy about the people when they give salient bullshit. Hell yeah. And the motherfuckers was just, that money just flow out your pocket. When you start to feel a certain way, that's what motherfuckers spend money on. Like they like to think that they're doing it from a rational reason. It's the feelings. And then they rationalize their feelings. Most motherfuckers ain't rational. They have a tendency to rationalize. That's why facts don't change people's ideas, because their ideas aren't based in facts. They start with the belief, what they want to believe, and then go find facts to confirm that for themselves. It's bullshit, but niggas don't. Hey man, whatever, bro. Whatever. I'm just a dick in the room, right? You say suffer, but niggas been suffering. The fact is, we want a better life along with knowing the truth and facing our bullshit. There, I said it. Look, you might not get a better life. And maybe you having a better life ain't even the thing you're supposed to have. It sucks. It don't feel good. It don't tickle. I'm sorry. I'm there too. Okay? But that's not what this stuff is about. Having a better life. But that's what a sophist would sell you. Techniques to have a better life. without any understanding of what life is. You don't need that. Here, do this technique. You don't need to understand truth. Fuck truth. Do this technique. All these motherfuckers looking for a methodology for this or that with no understanding of understanding. Just sitting in the room. Check, fire, facts. We tapping in, y'all. We building. Let me get you right here. Get you too, bro. We tapping in. We building. Do me next. Oh. Fucking circle jerks. Everybody just agreeing with each other. No one challenges anything. It's bad form. It's bad form, y'all.
Now, why does bullshit matter? Well, as I said at the beginning, part of the way people articulate the meaning crisis is there's so much bullshit and it seems to be increasing. We are separating relevance and salience from truth. But there's a deeper reason, and I think this is part of why it matters to Socrates. Look, you can't, although we use this metaphor for self-deception, it's actually not a good metaphor. You can't lie to yourself. It makes no sense. Cognitive psychologists have been pointing, and philosophers have been pointing this out. You can't know, not pee, and then say to yourself, but pee, but pee. The trouble is, you know that this is not the case, and so simply stating this to yourself doesn't do anything. You can't lie to yourself because you're in possession of the truth. Did I just prove to you that self-deception is impossible? No, not at all. See, you can't lie to yourself, but here's what I would argue. You can bullshit yourself. Why? Because lying has to do with believing. I'm going to come back to this again and again. Look, believing isn't something you directly do. Here, I'll show you. Pick a belief you would like to have. I would like to have the belief that everybody loves me. I don't believe that, but I would like to truly have that belief. So what should I do? I should just believe. Believe. You see televangelists doing this, telling people, believe. But you can't. You can hope that everybody loves you. You can wish that everybody loves you. But if I say, believe it, you can't do it. That's not how belief works. It's not a voluntary action. You can't lie to yourself. See, self-deception works in a different way. You know what you can do? You can bullshit yourself. How can you bullshit yourself? Because what you can do is direct your attention. If I say, pay attention to this finger, you can. And you can also choose to pay attention to something. Now, attention, and we'll talk about this later, and it's how central it is, there's two sides to attention. You can direct your attention. For example, if I say, your left big toe, you're paying attention to it, and suddenly it's salient to you. When you pay attention to something, it makes it more salient. It stands out for you. But you know what else? Attention can also be not only be directed by you to make things more salient, your attention can be caught. A sudden noise, and you turn, and you attend to it. It was salient, and it captures your attention. So not only can you direct your attention can be captured by what you find salient. And notice what this means you can do. You can direct your attention to something and make it more salient. And because it's more salient, it will tend to capture your attention. And because you're paying attention to it, you make it more salient, which means it will more likely capture your attention. Do you see what's happening here? These two things feed on each other. I pay more attention to it, it becomes more salient. It becomes more salient, it gathers my attention. I pay more attention to it, I'm more likely to be attracted to it. And it spins on itself in a self-organizing manner until your attention is attached to something. It's super salient to you. It's highly relevant to you. And you lose the capacity to notice other things.
I gotta go. What's going on, Maestro? Good to see you in the chat. Good to see you in the chat, sir. Do I have this in here? This is yeah, it's gonna be down here at the bottom. Look, in terms of methodology, because we go through methodology in the Bookman model, there's only two methodologies we're going to focus on. One is shadow work and one is ascension. Okay? Notice his consistent use of the word notice. Okay? When it comes to ascension in any particular cosmology, it's your capacity to notice that changes. See, as you transcend in different ways, as you go through the ascension process, the world doesn't change. You change. Your capacity to notice. You know, you start learning about all the occult symbols, and then suddenly, out of nowhere, the symbols are everywhere. Oh, the world didn't change. Your capacity to notice is what changed. That's the fundamental part of the ascension process. Awareness is your capacity to notice, and your awareness expands. Awareness is your capacity to notice, and your awareness is what expands. The world does not change. You change. The second part, that's only one part of the methodology we go over. The other one is going to be shadow work. Honest about what you're aware of. Because remember, like you said, when you pay attention to something, when you direct your attention to something, it becomes more salient and it becomes more of a habit that you direct your attention to it. See, look, here's the shit you don't want to have to pay attention to. What you try and do is just look through it. Oh, it's not there. No, it's not there. I'm going to direct your attention to this because this is what you want to see. This is what you want it to be. It's the shit you trying to pretend ain't there. And it's there. And so what you have to do is, instead of focusing on all the stuff that's on the other side of this, we're going to get you to focus on this. Again, and again, and again, and again. You're going to do it as much as you wipe your ass. You're going to do it as much as you clean your glasses. That is what you need to be paying attention to. Why? It's between this and your perception of reality. You want a clear perception of reality, you have to get the shit that's blocking you out of your way. And if there's a whole bunch of shit, this is what I want it to be. This is the shit I don't want to have to focus on that. I don't want to focus on the fact of what happened to me when I was 5. I don't want to look at that, man. Chill out of here. I don't want to focus on the fact that my teacher said I was dumb and I don't want to have to think about that. It's in your way. When I say you have to get out of your own way, I cannot be more literal. So those are the two main methodologies we focus on. Because if you can do those, everything else becomes plain. Shadow work we work on every Saturday. Every Saturday we're in sessions, we're focusing on that. Okay? And it's not going to be just me talking because I can talk. We're going to pull some shit out of you. All right? Ascension. There's 3 A's to ascension, okay? If you can do these 3 methodologies, anything else will work. First, we talk about ascension in general because we have to know what the fuck we're talking about, all right? The process of expanding your awareness. See, I'm not going to expand my awareness if I keep pretending this ain't here. Look, even I can see through it. So it's easy to pretend like it's not there. Look, you put on the glasses. You can see through them. I poked myself in the eye. Did you see that? That's funny. You can see through them. So it's easy to pretend they're not there. But you can't do that because they're in the way. So we go through that. Ascension itself, that's the first A. Ancestors, that's the second A. Why? Because if you understand that non-physical entity, you can work with anyone else. You can work with anything else. It's the most salient thing you're going to get non-physically, aside from yourself, but you still don't understand that. Anyways, you know, and if you understand that, you can extrapolate it to anything else. The third A is going to be altars. All right. If you understand the fundamentals and the principles of an altar, you can work with any working tool. You can make any working tool. It's the same principles. What is this? I'm sorry, I missed the chat, guys. Who mentioned money? This should be sounding good in a big ass house. I'm bald. How is suffering defined? I will ask because I realized I had Buddha's definition of suffering for years, but that I didn't need it, nor is it the only one. Because if you look at because it was what happened with the Western tradition for the middle path. A lot of it, like the Theosophical Society, where you get astral and etheric body from, okay? A lot of that comes from people in the West examining people in the East. A lot of it kind of overlaps in ways. Anyways, it's not to say it's wrong, but just to kind of think about the context. And in apostolic Christianity, suffering has a function. Apostolic Christianity, that sounds interesting. Gerald Sunbright, good to see you in the chat. Akil Bay, is that Akil Bay? I think it is. What's going on? Good to see you in the chat, man. Yeah, I do what I do. I do what I can do while I can do. I don't do other things. Pain, discomfort, and hardship. How would you get that big ass house without money? Well, you can steal it. You can squat, maybe. Ghost of Sean Lamar is in the chat. Good to see you in the chat, man. Every now and then, ghosts appear, guys. Keep the faith. All right, let's get back to this video. Okay? I'm gonna minimize this and shut myself up.
That's how you bullshit yourself. The salience and the catchiness of the stimulus has overtaken any concern you have for whether or not it's true or represents reality. This is how you deceive yourself. So do you see, that's why Socrates is going to be so antagonistic towards the sophists. They are the opposite of the axial revolution. They are the opposite of that rational self-knowledge, the attempt to overcome self-deception. The sophists are promoting bullshit. And when you promote bullshit, you not only promote the deception of others, you make yourself more vulnerable to self-deception. You fall more and more prey to self-deception. So, if the natural philosophers are truth without relevance, the sophists and their propensity for the promotion of bullshit represent relevance disconnected from truth. So notice here, they have the power to transform people, but they've disconnected it from the pursuit of the truth. These people can give us knowledge of the facts, but do not facilitate self-transformation. What Socrates wanted is he wanted both. He wanted individuals who knew how to pay attention in such a way that what they found salient helped them determine the truth, and that the truth that they found helped them to train their attention to find salience. Socrates wanted something like that. So what he would do is he would go about questioning people, maddening frustration. So Socrates would come up to somebody and say, well, what are you doing here? And, oh, I'm in the marketplace. Well, why are you in the marketplace? Well, I'm purchasing something. Well, why are you purchasing something? Well, I want to get these goods. Well, why do you want these goods? Because they'll make me happy. And then Socrates starts to, oh, so you must know what happiness is. Well, happiness is pleasure, Socrates, I guess, and these things give me pleasure. But is it possible, Socrates would ask, to have pleasure and still find yourself in a horrible situation that you really dislike? Well, of course, Socrates, that's possible. Oh, so then happiness isn't pleasure. You're being coy with me. Tell me, Socrates would say. What is happiness? Oh, it's getting what's most important to you. Well, that means that you have to have knowledge. Is it any kind of knowledge? Well, no, it's the knowledge of what's important. What's truly important, or what you only think is important? I guess what's truly important, Socrates. Okay, so what's that knowledge of what's truly important called? I guess that would be wisdom, Socrates. Oh, so in order to find happiness, you must have first cultivated wisdom. Tell me how you cultivate wisdom and what wisdom is. And the person goes, they collapse. They get to this point where they can't answer. They fall into a state called aporia. People compared it to being stung by a stingray or falling under a magician's spell. You don't know what's going on. Now here's what, one thing you might say is, well, Socrates is just a skeptic. He's trying to show people that they don't know anything because he wants to show that the gods are right, that nobody has any wisdom, etc. That's too simple. I think something more sophisticated is going on with Socrates, right? Socrates is trying to get you to realize, he's like incarnating the axial revolution. He's trying to get you to realize how much each one of us, myself included, how much we're bullshitting ourselves all the time. Why? Because we pursue things. We find things salient to us. There, happiness, fame, it's salient to us, and we're pursuing it. We're putting our efforts into it way before we understand it, way before we grasp the truths of it.
That we're pursuing what is salient, bullshitting ourselves, pursuing it, chasing it. Money, house, cars, bitches, spiritual mastery. We're pursuing it long before we've taken the time to try and understand it. Long before we've taken the time to try and understand it. That's the point. That's why it's important to have an idea of bullshit. Not just bullshit, but how you bullshit yourself. Not so you never do it again, but how you do it becomes more salient to you. Not so that you never have dirt on your glasses again, but how you're going to have to keep cleaning them. Different ways to clean them. Why you're going to get dirt on there. It's not to stop you from having to clean it. It's not to stop from dirt getting on your glasses. You don't wipe your ass because you'll never have doo-doo on it again. It's to bring your awareness, your focus on it. The fact that you're going to have to keep doing this, your dedication to it becomes more salient. As opposed to trying to reach this place you've pursued. It's easy to pursue money and have no understanding of money. It's easy to pursue a big house and have no idea about the difference between personal property and real property. Title versus certificate. What? Huh? What are money in the cars? Where the bitches at? Get the bag. Got me a check. I got a check. What's a check? It's a bill of exchange. It's a three-party instrument. Drawer and a drawee, payor and a payee. What? Hey, shut up, man. Get that check. Right? We pursue things long before we understand them. You want to build a practice, a lifestyle that seeks understanding. You want to build a lifestyle where wiping your ass is something you do. I just want to give up. Oh shit, IDK, good to see you in the chat, man. I've had this recurring dream that includes me strolling past this building that I never embraced until last night. Whole ass head in the corner of the building watching. Man, get in there, get in there. Get in there, get in there. I gotta hear that song again, that's fun. Yeah. Recently in the guild, and partially because I was frustrated because I expected them to be able to do things like this on their own, but I'm the guide, I'm the teacher, so I really don't mind, but I'm generally frustrated with myself because I think I say something plain enough and it would lead to these particular actions, but I don't. And I always have to find different ways to do it. It's like trying to hit 7 birds with 1 stone, but I'm good. Anyways, recently in the guild, I had them doing a particular exercise non-physically, and they got different results. And like there was a house in particular that they were supposed to be dealing with. And some people, you know, they got caught up on the outside of the house and never really thought to go in. Some people went into the house right away but couldn't find anything. And it's again different depending on people, different people. 7 birds with one stone, because I'm a good hunter. So yeah, look. When you're having those experiences, we have a tendency to treat the non-physical as though it's physical. And remember, when I'm saying non-physical, I'm not talking to you about a duality. Okay? Remember, I'm not talking to you about a duality. It's threefold at least. I'm not talking to you about a duality. That's how most people will talk to you about this stuff. Well, they don't know what they're talking about. But look, they're telling you what they want you to hear, because they don't know what you need to hear. It's the blind leading the blind, and in the world of in the world of the blind, the one-eyed man is king. I'm the one-eyed monster. I'm a dick. Okay. Fuck that nigga Aries. He ain't got 2 eyes. We ain't blind. Y'all are blind and no, I don't have 2 eyes. Okay, but I don't need to have 2 eyes to see better than you. I'm a dick. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I apologize. But you'll be even more. You'll be more mad when I'm a piece of shit. Maestro. Oh, y'all talking to each other. So possibility so many times being in pursuit of some human shit. Distracted. Yeah, because the reason though is because the only thing that's salient to you at that point is the human shit. And so you have to retrain your attention, retrain yourself into what is salient, what's relevant, what matters. Otherwise, you'll be dropping change on the ground. What's the meaning of me dropping change? Oh boy, y'all fun, man. Y'all fun, man. Okay, look, we're moving towards this, man. Let me get back in here. So, excuse me. Okay, here we go. Let me shut my ass up.
We are always making ourselves susceptible to bullshit because we are being driven by powerful motivations that are salient to us, that are greatly in excess of our understanding of their truth or reality. We are always, all of us, bullshitting ourselves. And the point about, and what that does is that provokes a reaction in people. It goes one of 2 ways. People either go, ah, and they don't want to be showing that about themselves, and they become angry at Socrates. Or some people have an insight. They realize, oh, I need to transform myself. I need to find a way to keep relevance and truth tracking each other, enabling each other. And when Socrates realized that he was having this effect on people, he had his answer to his dilemma. He knew how it was that the gods were not lying and he was the wisest of human beings. His answer was the following. He knew what he did not know. And we all say, I know what I don't know. I'm ignorant of a lot of things. No. He knew in a way that allows you to directly, painfully confront your capacity for bullshitting yourself. To really realize what you do not know is to realize, I'm pursuing her and I don't know what's going on. I'm pursuing that and I don't know what's going on.
Painfully and directly. Painfully and directly. So I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear. Rocky, good to see you in the chat. Welcome to the show. This why I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear. I'm not. I'm doing you a disservice if I do. Painfully and directly. You think I want pain? No. It's not about what I want. That's the point. Painfully and directly. And it's going to be consistent. Sorry, kiddo. I wish I could tell you something different. I wish it was different myself. It's not. Painfully and directly. He knew what he did not know. Remember, just like I said, it's not just claiming to be ignorant of some things. That's not what that means. It's about how to be painfully and directly in tune with how you bullshit yourself so that you can bring relevance and truth back into their dance, back into an appropriate dynamic that pushes you towards understanding. Okay, it don't tickle. There are things about yourself you don't want to have to see. But in order to get that transformation you want, you're going to have to. There are things about yourself you don't want to see. And in order to get the transformation you're looking for, you're going to have to look at them. I know, it sucks. You'll want to break. But I'm not going to sell you down the river trying to tell you how to manifest things. Bro, if you know how you manifest to begin with, how you comes to be manifest to begin with, you can manifest whatever the fuck you want. But what you want is in your way. What you want is in your way. You have a role to play. Our lives are not our own. Let all this shit you think you want go. It's in the way. Get to looking at the shit you don't want to have to see. Because what you're looking for is on the other side. All this sophistry bullshit. So remember, the philosophers, the natural philosophers, the scientific thinking is giving you relevance without any truth. It's giving you truth without any relevance. Okay? So you can't do any transformation. It gives you truth without the relevance. The sophists are giving you relevance without the truth. So maybe you can have some type of transformation, but that transformation isn't going to track with truth. Okay? You're going to want both relevance and truth to dance in a way to which is going to lead you towards understanding. And some of that's going to come with, I'm chasing this and I don't understand. I'm running after this and I don't understand. Like I say, some of y'all's biggest problem is you don't know how to tell when you don't understand. You don't know how to tell when you don't understand. I'll tell you the thing and I say, you get what you mean? You understand? Yeah, I get it, Aries. I got it. You hear me say the same thing 3, 4, 5 months later. Oh, I get it now. Wait, I thought you got it back there. No, I thought I did. So how is this different? How is it different now? Because now I see. No, you don't. I know you don't. It's not because I'm better than you. Just the way you're approaching it is showing me you don't see. Fuck out of here. But I'll be the bad person for saying it, though. Fuck you, Aries. I'm going back to the circle jerk. They get that I'm tapping in. You're trying to stop my rise. We are the chosen. Whatever. Kundalini crackheads.
That's what he's talking about. Now, many people think that Socrates just concluded that that's it. He didn't know anything. No, that's not what Socrates is talking about. Socrates does claim to know things. You can imagine how Socrates pisses people off. So he's put on trial. In ancient Athens, there isn't a state that arrests you. One citizen accuses another, you're brought on trial, you're put in front of 500 men. It's always men, remember? Very, very, very chauvinistic society. And then the accuser presents their case, the defendant presents their case, and then the jury votes on it. So Socrates was accused by people that he'd pissed off of atheism, which doesn't mean not believing in gods, it just means teaching strange gods. Because as I mentioned, he was concerned to make the gods moral exemplars. Now when Socrates is on trial, it becomes clear that they will let him go if he sort of agrees to stop doing this philosophy stuff that he's doing, stops pissing people off. And then he utters something that's very famous. And this is a statement of him deeply knowing something. He says, the unexamined life is not worth living. A life in which there is no effort made to put these two together is a life that is not worth living, because it is a life, to use our terms, that is awash in bullshit, that is beset by self-deception and self-destructive behavior. So Socrates knows what makes a life meaningful. There's a kind of wisdom. Wisdom is to keep your truth machinery and your relevance machinery tightly coupled together so that you don't bullshit yourselves.
Wisdom, keeping that truth and relevance tightly coupled together, to where it's not that one is more powerful than the other, but that there's a dynamic, there's a dance. You don't want truth with no relevance. You don't want relevance with no truth. You need both of them, and you need them in a dynamic. You need them coupled together to push you towards understanding. Otherwise, you'll quite naturally fall deep into bullshit because it's salient. Amar, the world was decorated and made shiny to see who is of true faith, and then Shaitan's role of trying to get you off the path. Of course. To sin is to miss the mark. You shoot an arrow and it goes off course, it misses the mark. All right, that's what I say. I can't stop bullshit. I can't go out here and clean up all the bullshit for you. You have to know how to stay on course. Well, of course, Arius. Of course I'm on course. Yeah, whatever. I'm the dick in the room, though, right? Sin is to miss the mark. Sin is to be off course. What's course? What does Jesus say? I am the way. I am the way. And when you're off course of the way, you're sinning. He died for your sins to make a way. But Jesus wasn't real. What you mean by real? What you mean by real? Fuck out of here. Niggas don't know. What most of you mean when you say real is materialism. Particles, atoms, cells. That's what you mean by real. That's why you don't understand any of this spiritual stuff. That's why none of it's really real. Well, you can talk, you can repeat all the spiritual stuff, but then, because I listen to you, you'll go, well, you know, but in real life, oh, real life? Real life, you say? Yeah, physical life. Yeah, my day-to-day life, whatever, right? But I'm the dick in the room. Ugh. I'm not going back to the circle jerk, and Kundalini crackhead should be on a t-shirt. Stay away from the circle jerk, guys. Look, I know it feels good. It feels validating, confirming, reassuring. You walk in that room, you know, you got your little 2 cents, right? It's 2 cents. But in your heart, you know, if people would just listen to you, this 2 cent is really worth about $3.50. This 2 cent is really worth about $3.50, and you just dying for someone to listen and get the value. Understandable. You're not wrong for wanting that. But if you let the fact that you want that get in the way of how you move, you're going to get fucked up. You're going to be in that spiritual circle jerk, eating bullshit with everybody. You walk in there with your 2 cents, and here you go. You're not sure. You know, you got to try and feel it out. And so here you go, 2 cents. Right? Check. Fire. Facts. This man tapping it. Yo, this man spitting fire. Gems. Y'all hear what he said? Gems. And you feel, oh, God. I'm home. No, I get the feeling. I get the desire. It's not wrong, but damn it. If you don't know how to keep truth and relevance together to continue to cultivate wisdom, you're gonna fail. You're gonna fall victim. And it's not wrong that people bullshit. We bullshit ourselves. It's natural. The same mechanisms in our thinking that allow us to understand complex things will at the same time throw us into delusion, into self-deception. It's not a bug in the system, it's a feature. So is the struggle with the external world the active effort to stay on the yoke of Allah? I guess so, maybe. I'm not really sure about the yoke of Allah. Really, you're probably asking Amar, because Amar's got the Islam tip. But the struggle is to stay on the path, to have that relationship with Christ. Why? He is the Word. He is the way. None get to the Father but through me. If the Father is the end goal and you are the starting place and Jesus is the way, none get through the Father but through me. But I'm the dick in the room. It's cool. Something I heard Rolla say that you reminded me of when you said arrow is he said not to shoot the arrow at the paint the bullseyes around. That hits deep. So I definitely do that. This little, and paint the bullshit. Oh yeah, because that's what people will do. When you start with it, they'll shoot the arrow, and then after the arrow lands somewhere, they'll paint the bullseye around it. And like, look, I hit it. Right? That's what happens when you start with a belief and then try and validate it with what you want it to be. This is why you have to not only learn to catch yourself where what you want it to be is in your way, but also how to clean that off so you can get some clarity. It's a process. It's a lifestyle. So you want to learn how to start making this part of your day-to-day life? Get painfully and directly honest with yourself and dedicate yourself to that. That'll start you down the path. I'm so serious. Oh, that's my bullshit when everything is okay and I'm just flowing through life. Nah, that means I painted around the arrow. Shit is not okay and you're destitute, bro. Yeah, you gotta, look, if you're destitute and you got this in front of your face, you won't see it because you don't want to be destitute. When you see it, bro, I ain't got shit over here. Now you can actually start to work on it. But if you got this, I don't really want to be destitute. As a matter of fact, I'm not. They gave me the check, fire, and facts. They told me I'm saying gems. That must be what it is. You ain't gonna see the fact that you ain't got shit. Matter of fact, he gonna sell that same shit to somebody else. But I'm the dick in the room, though. Okay, I am, but it doesn't mean I'm wrong. Let's continue. Let's finish this up, guys.
See, Socrates famously claimed to know ta erotica. We're going to have to talk about this later because it comes from erotic, and for most of us, all you hear when you hear erotic is sexual. That's not what eros means, right? It's a much more broader term in ancient Greece. What Socrates means is he knows how to love well. And that doesn't mean romantic love. What it means is Socrates knows what to care about. He knows how to keep what he cares about with what's real. He would do things like walk into the marketplace and say, look at all the things I don't need. He'd say, how much time did you spend on fixing your hair this morning? Oh, about 20 minutes. How much on fixing yourself? Whoa. Socrates knew what to find significant, what to find important. He knew how to properly care. He also compared himself to a midwife. He knew how to take that caring and that sense of what makes life meaningful, the cultivation of wisdom, and help people draw out, give birth to their better self. That's why he compared himself to a midwife. This is what he knew. Socrates knew how reason and love go together. You might find it sort of entertaining to know that Frankfurt, who I mentioned a few minutes ago, wrote a book called Reasons for Love, where he also puts together reason and love, things that we have been taught to keep as antithetical to each other. For Socrates, separating them, which our culture regularly and reliably does, is one of our greatest follies. They need to be interdependent and intertwined with each other. We need to rationally know what we should most care about. So Socrates is put on trial. He's found guilty. He just narrowly loses. So then, after losing And it looks like part of the reasons were political, and part of them he's pissed off the powerful and all kinds of things. And he associated with people that turned out to be corrupt. But he loses by a very narrow margin. And then what happens is each side proposes a penalty. The accusers propose death, that Socrates should be killed. And then this tells you something about Socrates. Socrates says the following: practicing philosophy has cost me. I have to constantly work at it. It's very demanding. I'm not wealthy. I'm dependent on other people. People attack me. It's been very risky. The worst penalty could be for me to continue doing philosophy. And in order to make that even worse, the government should give me free housing and free food for the rest of my life. So as you can imagine, this pisses everybody off, and Socrates is found in a much greater vote, he's condemned to death. Now notice Socrates is so convinced that he has the right kind of know thyself, not autobiographical, but this that I've been talking about. He knows how he works and how to train it, to transform it, so that he cares well and reduces his capacity for self-deception, that he's willing to die for it. He finds that meaning so important that he's willing to die for it. Now, he's a very interesting figure for that reason, but there's also other important things we should know about Socrates. The shamanic is still in Socrates, because he could do the following. He could stand in one place for 24 or even 48 hours meditating on his own thoughts. He was terrifically capable of controlling his body's physiological reactions. He could drink a lot without getting drunk. He could go into battle in winter without any shoes on his feet. He was famously brave. So he had this divine voice. Whenever he was about to do something wrong, he'd hear this voice that would tell him, "Don't do it, Socrates." So once again, you still find, the shamanic has been carried into the Socratic in really important ways. We're going to talk about later how those two are interwoven together. Now, Socrates has many followers, but there's one person who was present at the trial but wasn't present at his death when he drinks the hemlock. And you know what? I got to sit in the spot in Athens that corresponds to where Socrates was probably imprisoned. At least that's what they said. That person who was present at the trial and even offers to pay for Socrates' release, but is ill and not present at his death, is Plato. And Plato, as I've foreshadowed, is going to take Pythagoras and Socrates and put them together.
I'm not sure why I need to put that last little part there, but yeah. Because Socrates didn't leave writings and stuff. Most of what we know about Socrates comes from Plato. And once again, look, the Greeks did not invent thinking. We're talking about the Western world, right? This is where the Western world as a whole starts really tracking things, okay? Metaphysics is a branch of philosophy. Philosophy is thinking about your thinking. It is not making word salad with spirity and sciencey words. Know thyself is not autobiographical. We're keeping our pursuit of truth and what is relevant coupled together, tied together. This is the cultivating of wisdom. Because when you're cultivating wisdom, finding meaning is self-evident. It's easy to do. Today, nobody knows what anything means. This child dropped change. What does it mean that I dropped change? Sweetie, get a coin purse. What does it mean that I saw this owl? What do you mean? What does it mean? What do you mean? What does it mean? See, when you're asking that, what you're pointing to is being disconnected from the way in which you frame reality. Somebody in ancient Egypt, ancient Kemet, right? Go ahead and say Kemet. That makes a difference. That's fine. Go ahead. Somebody in ancient Kemet has a dream about a falcon. They wake up. They don't go ask somebody what it means. They say, last night, Ra spoke to me. I'm Greek, nigga. Give me your butthole. Ooh, boy, chill out, bro. Chill out, bro. Ooh. Look, yeah, culture's a different thing, bro. Oh my god. Look, I won't even tell you the culture we got today don't have that in it. Anyway, I'm a side note from that. Sorry. Thank you, Maestro. The cultivation of wisdom is going to allow you to begin to make meaning, to find meaning in how and what you do. No one can give you a trick or a technique to jump you right to the end. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. Metaphysics is philosophy. It's thinking about your thinking. These old systems are not fit to the people who exist today. Not simply because I've said it. I'm not saying it so you have to listen to me. Look, the Bookman model is bare bones. Threefold. You can take this, change the names if you want to. Go ahead. Big whoop. Take all this, change the names, call it as yours. I don't care. I don't want you to follow me. I want you to understand how to understand what the fuck you're talking about. So we can actually have a conversation one day. Fuck. When motherfuckers stop making up pseudoscience. Look, all this stuff motherfuckers talk about, melanin, magnetosphere, back oil, vertebrae, brain nerves, DNA, all of that is down here. Malkuth, tree of life, root chakra, chakras. See, chakras are something in the body. It's a map of all of reality. That's alright though. I'm gonna just say it a bunch. I'm gonna keep saying it, and you'll be like, Aries, I get it, and I'm like, no, you don't. You don't get it yet. I hear you, and you're excited to hear it, and it feels good. You don't get it yet, because you have to learn how to distinguish between those two. I ask people to find how Europeans hid African history, but they can't mention Egypt or Sudan. Then they end up saying goofy ass bullshit quick. Yeah, people love the idea that they have hidden something from us, and it's like it's easier to just say, look, how about you're ignorant motherfucker? Like, it's before you know, you have to not know. Ignorance is the precursor to knowing. The motherfuckers like to jump over the fact that I'm ignorant. You know, they go, Jesus ain't real, and now I'm not ignorant no more. Slow down, bro. Slow down, bro. Society, just good to see you in the chat. At the end of the show, it's alright, you can rewind it back. But yeah, this is my spiel for today, guys. Yeah. Please check out the whole series. Go back and look at other videos you claim you've known. But there's plenty of shit for you to do for free. It's going to take a lot more time than you want to take. And that's part of your reason, because you're trying to rush through everything. Because you're trying to avoid something. You're not running towards something. Whatever. Fuck me, right? You guys have an outstanding day. And,